Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to 101, and we're going to be doing the seasonal player ratings today. And just want to welcome my panel. Bertram, how are you getting on, bro?
I am doing well. It's the rumor mill is rampant. I have to always remember what Ebony says, which is on this on Arsenal.com, it really doesn't matter. But the rumor mill is all over the place about all these players who are coming. And if we get all these players that are in the rumor mill, and that's never the case, then we can compete at least for top four next year, given the quality of the players that are being portrayed that may join us. But you get conflicting news about how much money we have to spend. Do we have to sell first to be able to pursue these targets? So who knows what to believe? But it's been a good week. Still reveling in the fact that we won the FA Cup. It's wearing off a little bit now, but at least the season ended on a positive note versus finishing eighth and feeling like the world is coming to an end because we can't see the light of day where we're going to get back in the top four. And my final point is going to be that when Wenger was here and said we should be happy with top four, we looked at him with disdain and says he's crazy and we're Arsenal, but top four looks really good now. It looks far away, but something to aspire for.
Yeah, and Ebony, how are you getting on as well? Have you been living life, enjoying the fact that we're FA Cup winners and everybody around us, we're spawning misery on Spurs, misery on Chelsea because Chelsea just got battered and beat up the other day.
7-1 on aggregate.
Yeah. And everyone How's your week gone?
Yeah, the week's been good. It's been I've been enjoying the weather. I'm still gassing a little bit over the FA Cup win, despite what people have said before that we're going to get beat. And relishing in the fact that we've made Tottenham go into the a qualifying round. So yeah, I mean it's been pretty good, working, doing my radio shows and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been pretty good. But as Bertrand said, and me and Arsenal.com, if it's not there, because Sky News is not convincing me. So I'm not too keen on the fact that Lacazette may be sold. I want Martinez to stay because I've got the shirt already. But is it really a case of we have to sell players in order to fund who we want? And if we do get the players that we want, or Arteta gets his team, then he has the ability to do what he's been doing all season and changing players in the sense that he's actually gotten the best out of them. The other thing that I'm worried about as well is Ainsley Maitland-Niles, because if he does go to Tottenham, I will not be happy. I will not be amused.
Yeah, that's definitely a rumor.
Yeah, so like I always say, like Bertram alluded to, if it ain't on Arsenal.com, I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, and
just touch on Emily's point about Maitland-Niles. If this was 6 months ago, we probably wouldn't care, which is really interesting, actually, right? If it was 6 months ago, we'd not be pulling our hair out saying, no, we can't lose this kid.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, just like Martinez, things have changed drastically. So interesting.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, overall, guys, at the end of the day, look, I wasn't going to do any transfer dailies or anything like that because, and I don't believe in the Arsenal.com thing. I know too much agents and I get all messages and this has happening, that guy's been in contact. It's impossible for me to not jump on the rumor bandwagon. I just can't do it because there's so much information that's flying around, and it would be wrong for me to say, you know what, I'm not interested in that, don't want to hear it. But I like it. And it's the prospect of it. That's what it is for me. It's not what's on the Arsenal website. It's what do you want as a fan. That's what's important. What's your goals as a fan? What type of players do you want to see, regardless whether the deal happens or not? So it's all fun of the games. I guess it's part of the fun of being a fan. And right now, there's so much going on. Half of it is bullshit and it ain't real, and half of it is obviously happening. And you have to give Arsenal credit for the secrecy and how they do their business. A lot of these things are down to outside sources, not Arsenal. Arsenal do not leak anything. Not one iota. If we look at the fact that the William deal, we know he's been unhappy with Frank Lampard. Today, we know he posted a letter saying goodbye to Chelsea. So there's even some Chelsea fans that are saying he's going to be here next season. He's going to sign a new deal. They're still saying that even today. And today was a letter saying goodbye. Obviously, David Ornstein and Colin, James B, all of these guys are saying there's only 2 teams in the running, and one of them is in Miami, and he doesn't want to play over there. So it only means Arsenal's left. You've got the Gabriel thing where they said touch your hat if you're going to be signing for Arsenal. And then what happens yesterday? They drop him from the squad. So all these things are exciting. It doesn't mean that they're going to be here and they're going to be signing and all that other stuff. In fact, William and Coutinho are both still playing in their respective leagues for the Champions League and in Europe. So it's one of those things that the prospect of it looks nice, and it's the prospect that is giving us hope. So it's very important for the fans as well. I want to say a big shout out to James, a big shout out to Carlito, Ashek, what's going on, bro? Nice one, Vincey. Nice one, 18. In the chat, we've already got 11 people, and we ain't even started yet. We could talk a little bit about the rumor mills, though. But what I've done is I am doing daily videos, and I'm kind of using that to cover off the any other business type of thing. So I didn't really want to bring up Lacazette today or anything like that. I just covered that in the videos. But what I do want to do straight off the bat is get your opinion, Bertram and Ebony, about the elephant in the room that Arsenal have to address now. Arteta's already said Martinez is starting week 1 in the new season. So, Bertram, where are we going with this? What's your opinion on the Leno-Martinez conversation that's in the fan base right now? And also, guys in the chat, let me know what you think as well in terms of where the Bert Leno and the Martinez argument is. Who would be your preferred day 1 starter in week 1?
Well, look, I think the sad thing about our team is that 2 of our 3 best players are goalkeepers. That's pretty obvious, right? I think Martinez and Leno are probably the top 3 in terms of our players, the 25 squad that we have. So that's unfortunate, actually. I don't see Leno being on the bench. So if Leno is bench, he's going to want to leave. He wants to play for his country. You can't play for your country when you're sitting on the bench. You're not getting game time, especially when you have competition in Germany between the Bayern keeper. And there's another young kid there who is also coming up pretty fast and also is going to go to Bayern. So I don't see Leno on the bench. The question is, what can you get for Leno? In a market where goalkeepers, great goalkeepers or good goalkeepers are not in abundance, right? We've seen the Premier League list of the keepers, and Martinez and Leno are, 1 and 3 or 1 and 4 in terms of the list of Premier League goalkeepers from last season. So that's positive for us, but a negative for us also in that we will have dissension on the bench. I can see Martinez being on the bench, not Leno. Even though, given them their performance, and we have a small sample size for Martinez, I can see him, the fans glamoring for him playing, because I think, as Tony mentioned in one of our catch-up, which is his errors haven't cost us. He's made errors. The ball that he kicked on the Liverpool forward that almost scored Firmino didn't cost us, but it was an error. Leno committed 5 or 7 errors during the season that cost goals. So
6. Actually, it's actually 7. It's officially 7, which is the
much bigger sample size though to deal with. And we have seen much more of Leno. And over the season, if Martinez is a starter, he will make errors. It's innate. He's not perfect. He will make errors. The question is, how many of them is he going to make? Is it David Luiz type or Leno type, or 1 or 2? I do think Arteta is in a conundrum, because you have a very seasoned keeper, one who's been with us a long time but hasn't played at the highest level that much. And fans have very short memories. And they only remember the good things that are immediate. They don't remember things that are more dated. So I can see everyone glamoring for Martinez. I do think Martinez needs to start because he hasn't done anything to lose his spot. But you can say the same thing for Leno before he got injured against Watford, which is, I was playing well. I've made amazing saves. Yes, I've made some errors. But it's like we see with the Man U goalkeeper, you make errors. They happen. We see that a lot with Everton goalkeeper. Look, I would start Martinez, I will admit. I think he has a lot of physical attributes which work well for him. in addition to his play, which has been stellar.
Yep, and Tony, before I go to Ebony on the... Actually, no, let's just go to you, because first of all, we want to ask you how well you are, and we all know what Ebony's thoughts are on the Leno Martinez, even though we're going to come to it anyway. Tony, how's your weekend been, bro?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Just enjoyed myself yesterday in the park with the family. And watched my son play in a 7-7 draw this morning where he scored a worldie.
Oh, wow.
Beating 3 players. So, yeah, that'll be on his channel a bit later, Kyron's Crazy Adventure channel. But, yeah, you know, we're still in glory mode. Very much still in that mode.
And we have to enjoy it, man, because it's history. People will be talking about these things from years to come. What we did with Chelsea, it's we've done the treble over them in the FA Cup now, and we've sent their fans into meltdown. And the guys, it's like I said last week. I told you about my guilty pleasure. My guilty pleasure is running onto the opposing team's forum and watching the game thread, reading the game thread from start, where they're all up for it and they're saying we're going to do Woolwich, we're going to do Arsenal, and then just see how their miserableness and their pain just ebbs away as the minutes go along. I absolutely love it. Ebony, Leno or Martinez, who starts day one? That's like asking if you love cooked food, if you love your oxtail rice and peas.
Listen, it is. I've been saying this for the best part of 18 months. Martinez. I don't know how much more I can stress that his agility is better, his awareness is better, his command of the area is better. For me, he's a better shot stopper. It's no question. It's not even a debate for me. You have to start Martinez. You have to start Emilio Martinez. Everything about his goalkeeping, his shot stop. It's not to disrespect Bert Leno, because he has been good and he has actually saved our backsides this season. But as you've alluded to, you know, that the goalkeeper in your YouTube video,
it's cost us as well. Yeah, you've got to bring it, you've got to weigh it up. Yeah,
especially against Tottenham. But you know, that goalkeeper position is that area where, if you are not confident in your goalkeeper, I mean, you've got to be confident in your defense as well. If your defense is off key, your goalkeeper needs to be on point. And there have been times, and there's been so many times when Leno has been indecisive, and I can't. And when you try to play from the back and you're dilly-dallying over the ball, it can cost you. Martinez doesn't do that. He knows what he's doing. You can see that he's already made a decision, and he just gets on with it. It's got to be Martinez. I can't. Not every time, but there's been times when I've seen Leno in goal, and I'm like, look, please pick up the ball and kick it out or throw it out, because you have an opposing player coming towards you. That's happened too many times. I've not done that once with Martinez. And I think possibly deep down, Arteta knows that Martinez is the one.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. You've got to go with what works. And I don't have to keep saying this. I've said it many times. The problems with the benefits of a good team is the amount of mistakes that you don't make. You limit your mistakes. That's how you're so successful. In the mid-table teams and the lower table teams, those teams notoriously will make more mistakes. When you come into a team like Arsenal as a manager, your job is to limit, first of all, professionalism, discipline, philosophy, get everybody on board on the same page, and then root out all of the mistakes that the teams make. And right now, we've got some massive serial offenders on that team. And if Arteta wants to be successful, you can't do that with the players who let Wenger and Emery down. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. So he has to make a judgment call in terms of who he keeps. So, we all know the conversation with Xhaka, first on the team sheet, reliable to the managers and whatever role they tell him to play. But at the same time, you've got to trade it off with what he's not doing. Not where's the assist, where's the chances created, where's all that stuff that he's supposed to be famous for, where's the leadership? I don't see any leadership on the pitch. And then obviously cutting down on the amount of balls he gives away, 5.6 per game. So, and that's very easy to overcome when you have someone like the core at Watford, someone like Partey. Not even that, even in-house, we've got Torreira. Torreira is more productive than Xhaka is. It's just that for some reason he's not really settled in.
Okay, Apollo. We're talking about goalkeepers now. You're back to Xhaka.
But I'm talking about it in I'm talking about it in the same vein that you have to have your goalkeeper who is error free, and you don't solve that by taking the most error prone goalkeeper in the league and making that solve your problem, because that in itself is a problem. So okay. I'm not this.
I wanna bring some humility back to this subject, because I kind of think that we're castigating one keeper against another when keepers make errors. I think Liverpool's keeper has made 5. Just doing a little bit of quick checking. Yeah, I think Alisson, is it Alisson?
Yeah,
has made 5 errors this season. Yet they're the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And most would say he's their best keeper. The issue for me is not, well, Leno was playing well before he got the injury and Martinez came in and did extremely well. Let's be honest, when Martinez was playing last year, he wasn't uprooting trees. He was a stand-up player. I remember a game, even if we count this season, the game against Liverpool, was he letting 5 goals? Yeah. So let's not pretend like, every time he got on the pitch, we just saw the next coming of Manuel Neuer.
No, he before that he was known to be a solid player and a stand-up player
but that's what
in the Europa League, and that's where people started.
I'm sure if we saw Matt Macy, we'd probably say he's a solid keeper.
Well,
that's what we want.
Yeah, and
this is where I want to bring it to is ultimately this is a decision that Arsenal and most importantly Mikel Arteta have to negotiate, because we don't want one good keeper, we want 2 good keepers. Yeah, and it looks like we have 2 good keepers. So although we like Martinez over Leno, and some might say I prefer Leno over Martinez, we shouldn't be angry that we've got 2 good keepers. What we should be trying to say is, okay, how do we keep both keepers happy? Yeah, remembering that we're back in Europe next season again. We're going to be playing in a shortened league. We're going to be playing twice a week, 3 times a week sometimes. Listen, the goalkeeper is going to be something where you can actually do what you do with all other players, is rotate consistently week in, week out, to the point that if you go very far in competitions, like we have this season, like we have previous seasons, the goalkeeper who's second will have as many games nearly as the guy who was in first choice. Yeah.
Well, so let's hope you're right, because Martinez has set down the.
When you have 2 players, every position across the pitch has to have 2 competitive players. As you said, Lacazette didn't start playing until Nketiah came back and he had a bullet up his ass. Yeah. So it's good that Leno has a bullet up his ass now and is going to be saying, okay, well, this guy looks like he really wants it. I'm going to have to up my game if I want to play.
Yeah, but Tony, the goalkeeping position, it's a different position though. So think about it. It's like De Gea and Henderson at Man U, right? We had with Czech before, and the keeper that went to Real Madrid, I forgot his name. So you have, it doesn't work with 2 very good goalkeepers. It just does, because unlike an outfield player, you can even play in a different position, or you can substitute the player 60 minutes in. You don't do that with goalkeepers. That's why it's a struggle, which is when you have 2 number 1s, it normally doesn't work. Something has to give.
Yeah, look, Martinez has already said if he's not playing more than 15 games next season, he's gone.
listen, it's not to say that teams don't have two good keepers. Yeah, I appreciate what you said, Bertram, but isn't it not the ambition of a club to have two good keepers and have that problem, just like it is to have three good strikers and have a problem saying, well, who do I play most? Because ultimately, if you look at Aubameyang, apparently his brother is. I saw the interview with his brother. His brother's saying Aubameyang wants to play down the middle. He doesn't understand why Arteta keeps playing him on the left. Well, if Aubameyang wants to play down the middle, Aubameyang needs to play a different kind of game. Or Arsenal have to change the system to allow Aubameyang to perform in a different way to that which Lacazette can play, to that which Nketiah will play. Yeah? So I just don't see there being an issue where you have competition of places. Ultimately, everybody's going to be required in a team where you have lots of players. Where you've got 25 players in a squad, you're going to have good, healthy competition, hopefully, across all parts of the pitch. What we lacked last year was good, healthy competition across all parts of the pitch.
So here's one question, guys. Name me one team in the PL that has two number one goalkeepers.
Liverpool?
Kepa
No.
and Caballero.
No, I mean good goalkeepers. Sorry. I don't mean number one for the team. I mean two good goalkeepers were number one. Two very good goalkeepers were number one.
Okay, so
Kepa is not good.
Well, hang on, but who is the number one keeper at Chelsea?
That's what I'm saying, which is they don't have any good goalkeeper. That's why you have two. You have the conundrum they have.
That's why they're in problems.
Kepa's the more expensive goalkeeper. So
No, Tony, you're missing my point. No, Tony, here's my question. Yeah. Name me a team in the PL that has two keepers who would be your number one, two very good goalkeepers, two excellent.
Name a team in the world that has that. I
exactly.
Real Madrid at one time had Navas and
Casillas.
Casillas,
yeah. That's the only time I can remember. Oh, and Barcelona had Ter Stegen was the backup to the guy who came here.
Who left? Yes, he left. I went to yes.
He came into the Prem. So at that time, Ter Stegen was not, but he was a good keeper still, and obviously he's gone on to prove he's their number one now. But yet, globally, I can't think of a team that has two number one keepers. But as I said, that's the headache any manager would want to have.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, listen. Let's get straight into it because we've got 20 people watching us now, and they want to get their views across as well. And so we've just been talking about the goalkeepers, and we're going to grade them as such. So let's start with Bertram as well. And guys in the chat room, let's hear your marks out of 10 for the whole season. The whole season, guys, for our goalkeepers, Leno and Martinez. Bertram, before you go, just want to have a look at what some of the guys are saying. Ashek's saying, I think both are on par with goalkeeper abilities, but Leno's got terrible distribution. That's another thing that we're not even discussing. Me and Ebony have talked about that. He's just lacking in errors and lacking in distribution. And I think that those are the things that Martinez has got ahead of him. But I would make it Martinez's job to lose, to be honest. If Martinez gets a longer stretch of running a team and he continues to show these magnificent traits that we've seen, which in my opinion would probably make him one of the best in the league, then you have to go with what you know because he's an unknown quantity. But if he starts fumbling the ball around and making mistakes, then he's lost the job, and that's the only way you can go. Carlito says, Tony, it was Leno's error that caused us to get bumped out of Europe. Yeah, that as well. And let's see. Well, African Guna saying it was he agrees with Bertram.
It wasn't like he let the ball through his hands.
No, it was poor. It was poor. He should have done way better with that. I haven't seen Martinez make those errors. I haven't seen Martinez do that, let the ball slip through. I saw David Hay do it. I saw David Hay do it twice.
He's gone downhill, that one.
He has, and he's regarded as the best goalkeeper in the league. So you see how far this thing stretches. You know, you're only as good as your last game as a goalkeeper. What happened to healthy competition? To better one another. We're starting a trend having to. Yeah, it's because it's not sustainable, Daniel. Martinez has already come out and said today if he's not going to play, then he wants to be sold to a team where he can play. So it's great. Tony's right. We got two great goalkeepers. Unfortunately, we can't keep them. It's not sustainable. The African Guna is given 8 for both of the goalkeepers. Kev is given an 8 also for both of the goalkeepers. Vinci has said 9. I think that 9 is for both. I'm not sure. Stephen has said 8 for both keepers, but he'd rather Martinez. He can deal with crosses way better, bro. I noticed Leno goes out to punch a lot of crosses. He's just under 6'2", so he's not going to be the biggest guy on crosses. Martinez is 6'4". He comes to collect and catch all the crosses. That's the two things I noticed between both goalies. One comes out and tries to get a fist to it. The other comes out and collects it. So look, it is what it is. Bertram, you got the conch, man.
So I gave Leno an 8, and I gave Martinez a 9. But Martinez is a very small sample size to deal with, and we all should remember that. He played other games, but the main thing people want to play is the PL. Yeah, the Europa League is nice. Yes, FA Cup is nice, and League Cup are nice, but they want to play in the Premier League, and that's what when someone says I want to be the number one, that's what they want to be the number one for, because most of the time the backup goalkeeper plays in Europa, and plays in the other League Cups. I think Leno, yes, he does make mistakes, but I'll say this. I think teams need to stop playing up from the back. It's sexy, it's nice, it looks good to keep possession. But let's think about all these high-profile games which has cost teams, like we saw with Real Madrid, their tournament from playing out from the back. The cost-benefit is not worth it. It just isn't. We saw it with City against us. Twice. Your premier team, your top team in the Champions League, you're the favorite, and you gave up 2 soft goals. We saw it with Liverpool and Allison. So every one of those teams that are even top teams that are so bent on following Guardiola's method of playing up from the back have demonstrated that it can cost you and cost you dearly. So I wouldn't want to knock keepers from playing up from the back. It's something that's evolving. I don't think it's worth it. But I gave Leno an 8 and I gave Martinez a 9. I thought Martinez had a ridiculously good second half of the season after the lockdown. If you came in as a bad, when Leno got hurt, I said, oh, we were bad. We're going to go from bad to worse. And he came in, even though I thought the defense got better. So we also have to think about that. The defense got better throughout the season, especially players like David Luiz, which helps when you're a keeper because you have more confidence with your defense. And Leno played with a hodgepodge defense that was atrocious in the earlier parts of the season, which actually cost Emery's job. So, but I do think that we have 2 very, very good goalkeepers. But if we need money, we need to sell one of them. And Chelsea need a goalkeeper. So
that's a fair point. Guys, I want to get to, I think Vinci cleared it up as well. He says, Kev, we got Carletto, Ashek's given an 8. Carletto gave it 8. Daniel giving them both, an 8. So Vinci said it was Leno 8 and Martinez 9. So it's 9 for both. Come on, bro. Hey, Tony, your boy's playing games with us now, man. Leno 8, Martinez 10 from Cool K. Leno 7, Martinez 9 from I know. I heard that from the training ground yesterday. They're basically saying that they could go in, but really it's more of a precaution. That's one of the doctors that are saying that they could rest him. They're saying he could also start next season in the next month, in 4 weeks. But I think that the feeling with them is, why would they even think about that when they got somebody like Martinez? It's just said aggregate scores. I personally, before I go to Ebony, I've given Leno an 8. Standout season for me for Leno. Played a crucial part in turning draws into win after February. But he had his fair share of howlers that kept following him. and he needs to get that out of his game if he wants to reclaim his number one spot for me. But I think it's one of the best seasons he's had, because let's remember his first season he struggled, especially with errors. The season before that, when he was in Germany, he got kicked out of the national team. He had more errors than anybody. He had 11 errors causing to goals in the Bundesliga, really bad. That's the reason why he went for 18 million euros when Kepa and all them guys were going for 60, 70 million. So we got what we paid for. And that's the reason why people said, yeah, it was a great deal. And I turned around to Arsenal fans, you're talking about the guy caused 7 goals to go in. You know, we got what we deserve. He's great. Nobody said he's not a great shot stopper, but we kind of got the double-edged sword. We got the good and the bad with Leno. With Martinez, people, you know, again, Tony's saying, what did he do much? We knew from 2 years ago he was good. Me and Ebony haven't been saying he's a great goalie for a reason. We're saying it because of the performances that he put in when he was playing in the FA Cup, playing in the Europa. We could see that he was a good goalkeeper. We just needed for him to get a run in the team so everybody else can see it. So, you know, it's not like we're saying we told you so, but we saw it from 2 years back. And he's only growing in confidence more. He's strong in the air, great shot stopper. His concentration and skill level is just top class. He was instrumental in the FA Cup win as well. And look, no wonder he's set for contract talks. And if they don't pay this guy, then it's going to be the biggest undoing. For me, you pay him. It's as simple as that. Ebony, also, thank you very much for Stephen. I appreciate it. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate every penny that goes toward the channel helps. Big shout out to you, my friend. Ebony, marks out of 10 for Leno and Martinez.
Okay, I'm going to give Leno a 7 and Martinez a 10. The reason why I'm giving Leno a 7 is because he has been error prone. And like I said before, it's not that he's not a good goalkeeper. He has saved our backsides quite a few times this season. And yes, he can. He's a good shot stopper. But for me, it's his lack of concentration that has cost us games. And that's not solely down to him. I mean, also the defense has a part to play in that as well. But for me, you know, Leno's been too indecisive about how he wants about his distribution. And the reason why I'm giving Martinez a 10, I know people think is a bit far-fetched, is because he has an all-round better game as a goal. It's as simple as that. You know, I mean, he doesn't dither. He knows what he's doing. He's not indecisive. He just gets on with it. He knows the exact pass that he wants to play, and he just gets on with it. And he can play with his feet as well. Whereas Leno, he's not so good with his feet, but at the same time, he's a good shot stopper. He's a good goalkeeper. But for me, he's just made too many mistakes this season to warrant anything above a 7. So Leno 7, Martinez 10.
Excellent. So let me try and get this thing. Tony, you can give me your views. And while you're doing that, I'm going to put up a sheet for all of us. This sheet was sent to us via Tom Aston on 101. So we can all have a look at the sheet there. There we go. Let me get rid of this banner so that everybody can see what the sheet says. So this is Premier League goalkeepers ranked by save percentage. Number 1 in the league is Martinez. Number 2, Lloris. Number 3, Leno. 4, Henderson. 5, Schmeichel, De Gea, Ederson, Alisson, and you know the rest. So again, guys, it's another stat. He's already the best in 3 statistics in the league. This is yet another one where he's just outshining everybody. And as I've said, I believe that next season he could be renowned as the best goalkeeper in the league. I really do believe that. I'm not saying that just because he's an Arsenal player. I'm saying that because of the skills that he's shown that he can do. Tony, over to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to be exactly the same as Bertram. I'm going to give Leno an 8. I'm going to give Martinez a 9. I think there's sometimes you get a little bit carried away with the errors leading to goals. If you're in the game more often than the other keeper, those errors will lead to more goals. Don't forget that Emi Martinez nearly gave away a goal, which would have been a 1 on his errors.
Yeah, but nearly doesn't count, Tony.
Yeah,
you know
but
that.
you know what? He still made the error, and I still remember it very well, fooling around with his feet. So, look, you've also got to bear in mind that Leno was the recipient, unfortunately, of coaching under the Emery era. Half the season was Emery, yeah? And Emery was doing all kind of foolishness in the back four, yeah? Literally, you and I sat at a game in the Emery's regime watching our back four and going, oh my God, what are they doing? Literally the opposition in some cases were in our box and we're still trying to play it out. And you're like, what the hell are you doing? And everyone else is holding each other thinking, please just get rid of the goddamn ball. So, good performance by both keepers. I think we've got two good ones. Good luck to Mikel Arteta in trying to get those guys to play together. Pay Martinez the money. The kid's gone on a very small wage, and he deserves that peanut. He deserves that big contract with a big up in his salary. That's about it.
So I've got a question from Stephen here. Stephen says, if you were to value both keepers to sell, what would be your evaluations? I'm actually on the evaluation website right now, and this is gonna make you laugh, Stephen. Before the kickoff of this season, Bert Leno, remember we paid 18 million euros for him. What was that? It was about 16 million pounds. Bert Leno's value at the beginning of this season was 28 million. His value now is 35 million. Martinez's value before this season was 7.2 million. His value now is 42 million. So it's realistically, if you were to sell him, you'd hope to get somewhere between 40 to 45 million for Martinez. And for Leno, you'd hope to get somewhere around 30 million, 35 million. But that's where we are. I mean, if Martinez plays this season and puts in another good season, his value is only going to rocket up to the high 50s and 60. As we know, he's 27 years old. He's still got a long way to go as far as he's got 10 years left at the top level. So the sky's the limit for him. And Bert Leno as well. Let's not discount Bert Leno. I have talked about Leno in great detail, and I've said, all of those mistakes he made was under different coaching staffs. With what Arteta is bringing in now, how are these coaches going to develop their players? As Bertram alluded to, how would Leno play with a more defensive structural shape? We don't know. These are all unknowns. So look, I'm just glad they're both there. And he's saying 26. 18 million euros I've got on the books, on my books, mate. So I think a couple of people reported it was 26 million, but officially I've seen it somewhere around 18 million euros. D-Star says he agrees with Ebony on this one. Everyone's agreeing with Ebony, man. Ebony, you're doing something right. Defenders, guys in the chat as well. Give me your views, marks out of 10 for the defense this season. Bertram, you got the conch. It's a big one, Bertram. Take your time, man.
Okay. Bellerin, I gave a 6.5. But well, let's take a step back.
Yeah, Bellerin.
I'm not giving stellar marks to players on a team that finished 8. Let me just say that. You have to really exceed expectation. Yes. Sorry,
Bertrand. These are centre backs. So these are centre backs, not.
Oh, centre backs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've split it up to make it easy for us. So there's 5 sections.
So Mustafi, I gave it a 6. I think he did a very good job after the first part of the season. That's why Arteta played him. I gave David Luiz the same grade. He's given away 5 penalties in the season. I don't remember Mustafi giving away a penalty. David Luiz gave away 5 penalties during the season. So no matter how great he has played, if we're going to judge him like how we judge Leno, he's still very error-prone. Holding, I gave a 5. I thought he was atrocious early on. Redeemed himself a little bit later on during the season, especially in the FA Cup final. But he hasn't had the great season. Socrates, I gave a 4. Look, he didn't play a ton this year. I think he's gotten slow. He's a little bit older, just not there. Chambers, I gave a 7. I thought he was our best centre half until he tore his ACL. I thought he played really, really well. I don't know why he got benched after the Newcastle game when we gave up no goals. We brought David Luiz in. That made no sense to me. And I think when you have a centre half who played centre midfield for Fulham the entire season, was their best player, that means he can play out from the back. So I'm not sure why you want to discount Chambers, because he made it a bit slow. And he can also play right back, which shows his versatility. I think he probably should have played more. So those are my grades. I know that I'm going to get snickering about Mustafi, but I thought Mustafi played really, look, he's not this, I'm going to denigrate him. He's not this, what I call, with the best footballing brain, but he's physical. He has physical attributes. And he may be something that we want to sell because he's not of the right quality. But I thought he was a 6 this year. So I'm defending my Mustafi 6, as you can see.
Excellent. So let's have a look and see what the guys are saying now. Let's see. So we got African Guna, Tierney. We're doing centre backs at the moment. So I'll leave Tierney's score. So African Guna saying 5 for Mustafi, 6 for David Luiz, 2 for Klasnach. Chambers, Socrates didn't play enough. Yeah, but they played a lot at the first half of the season. Under Emery, they were pretty much Emery type of players. So we're grading the whole season. 18 has gone 6 for Mustafi, 8 for Luiz, 6 for Mari, 7 for Holding, 3 for Socrates, 3 for Klasnach, and 8 for Chambers. Ashek has gone 3 for Luiz. Holding and Socrates and side 4, Chambers 7, Mari no score. Kulke has gone 6 for Mustafi, 7 for Luiz, 5 for Mari, 7 for Holding as well. Holding, a solid season for Holding, except for at the beginning when he was really struggling to come back from the ACL. A really strong finish to the season for Holding. Socrates 4, Klasnach 4, Chambers 8. Chambers is getting bare love. Vincey 5 for Mustafi, 6 for Luiz, 6 for Mari. People like what they saw from Mari. He only played 3 games. 8 for Holding, 4 for Socrates, 5 for Klasnach, 6 for Chambers. African Gunner saying 5 each for Holding and Mari and Socrates. Okay, cool. Before I go to let me see. Before I go to Ebony, let me get my scores out of the way. Chambers 7. He was the most reliable player defender before the ACL injury. He had 4 Man of the Match awards under Unai Emery, and also, obviously Arteta saying he's got a chance to play centre back now. Mustafi would have got a 4, but he's got actually 6. Bag full of mistakes earlier on, but quickly were ironed out with consistently solid performances under Arteta. So I've got to give him respect where it's due. Socrates, I gave a 3. Failed to impress in most aspects. Clumsy in defence. Just quick to push for the mistakes. Doesn't play the ball out from the back well. Really clumsy. And this is why he wasn't in Arteta's plans, guys, because he just couldn't play the ball out. He had a decent spell at right back, but then we brought Suarez in, and the rest is history for him. Pablo Mari, I agree with all of you guys. I give him a 6. Played 3 times. There isn't much to rate, but it's encouraging. The things we saw from him was very encouraging. His pace, his ability to spot the overlap, passes intercepted, snuffing out 1-2s into the box. Solid aerial game as well. 6'4", made himself a real presence. Rob Holding, my boy, I gave him a 6. Recovering from his ACL injury, had a few setbacks and inconsistencies, some really bad games from him. But then he grew into more confidence and started to be more reliable. He had the Man of the Match against Southampton, which was brilliant. For some reason, we didn't play him for the next 3 games. So I'm not sure why that was. When he came back for the FA Cup run, he, solid performance, the occasional lapses, but we played some really good teams and he held up his own well. So that's it from me, guys. Klasnach, let me give Klasnach a 4. Failed to have any real mark in any position. Wing back, centre back, he just didn't cut it for me. So that's mine. Ebony.
You haven't done Luiz.
Oh, David Luiz, I gave an 8. Luiz has been solid throughout. I think he had some ups and downs under Emery, but as soon as Arteta came in, he's one of the top players in the team. He had a bad game against Man City. But outside of that, he's been solid. His scores have been solid, and his leadership has been solid as well. So I gave him an 8. Yep.
Tony, why aren't you reacting? Why are you so quiet on the 8?
So Ebony.
Do you know what 8 is?
Yeah. So Ebony, you go ahead, and then I'll give the rest of the guys scores.
Ebony, Bertram, we haven't done Kolasinac and Mari.
So Kolasinac given the goalie game against Spurs, I don't consider him a centre back. I consider him to be a left back, right? I don't consider him a centre back. He's not a centre back. He just plays there in the 3. I gave him a 4. And Mari, it's almost incomplete for me. I don't think he played enough to get a grade. He just didn't. He didn't play enough games to get a grade this season.
Okay, so in the 3 games you saw him play, what would you have graded him on those 3 games?
6.
Okay, so
I wasn't overly impressed, I must admit. He looked slow against City when he injured himself. I want to see him for a more sustained period, a longer period, to make a judgment about his ability. People don't understand. This is the Premier League.
Yeah,
it is unforgiving.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I gave him in the 3 man of the matches, I gave him a 7 and a 6 and a 6. So my score for him was a 6. But yeah, I agree with you. I
assume you gave David Luiz a 3 to start out with for his leadership. So you got to the 8. That's what I'm just thinking. You got to be that. You got to give him 3 for leadership, and then you add 5 to it to get to 8. Because 8 for David Luiz, Apollo, I think you smoked something. David Luiz great.
Listen. I think David Luiz.
I agree.
I think this season without David Luiz would not have happened the way it did. I just think he's been standout.
We finished 8. I mean, we might as well finish 15. Okay.
Hold on. The season isn't just the league. We won the FA Cup, Bertram.
I know, but we want to be tough.
Not only did we win the FA Cup, but in the final and semi-final, he was one of the best players there. Man of the match against City, and a standout performance in the final as well.
I'm going to remind you of your comment earlier.
No.
For the whole season.
Listen to what I'm saying.
For the whole season.
Yes, and the FA Cup is included in the whole season. It's not one part.
Yes, I don't disagree.
Right. So in the final,
Luiz with an 8.
In the final, he wiped out Giroud. In the semi-final, he was the man of the match. His leadership, in terms of his leadership, and I don't really have to justify it. You heard what Saka said. Saka said if he was to name the best leader on the field, it would be David Luiz. Listen to the players.
And I just said you gave him 3 for leadership. I just said that.
Don't worry about what I said. Listen to the players. Yeah.
Right.
Ebony, you've been holding on long enough.
Right. Okay. Right. Butters, as I call him. 3.
Butters.
Okay.
3 for Mustafi.
Yes, 3 for Mustafi. I'm sorry. Guy's so injured. No, sorry. Guy's so error prone. It's unreal. You know, this guy can't tackle for shit.
Oh, damn.
Okay? My 75-year-old mother can do a better job. Okay.
Hey, you that's not the first time you mentioned your grandmother. She's got some skills.
My mother.
Mother, yes, she's got some skills to pay the bills.
Sorry, the guy's just made too many mistakes. You know, he's just too heavy-footed for me.
Yeah.
3. Luiz, he's been Luiz this season, especially this season. He's been too random. He's been too random for me, so I'm gonna give him I'll give him a 7. Yes, he has shown some promise. Yes, he has been the guy who's sprayed the ball and and made the assist. Yes, he has been a leader on the pitch, but there have been times when he's given penalties away. So I'm going to mark him down and give him a 7. Mari, I'm going to give him a 6 based on the 3 games that I've seen him play. Holding, he's been unlucky with injury, and I think sometimes when he's not been at the races, he's actually been thinking about the injury he's just come from. So I'm going to give him a 6. Socrates, he's another Butters player. Who I'm sorry. What is he? What does he do? He can't pass. He can't run with the ball. What does he do?
That's why
he came from Dortmund, by the way. He came from Dortmund.
Yeah,
very good team.
That's why Arteta hasn't picked him. That's why he's not playing.
I wouldn't pick him. The guy cannot do. All he can defend is Özil. I'm sorry, he's not a defender. He can go forward, but that's about it for me. Sorry.
But Ozil is on the sideline.
Like I said, that's all he can defend.
He can't defend Ozil because Ozil's got
Kolasinac, not Socrates. Kolasinac. Socrates again. I don't know, a 5, I guess.
Average for Socrates. That's good.
A 3, and you're giving Socrates a 5.
He's been better than Kolasinac, in my opinion.
Well,
and that's because and the only reason why I'm giving him a 5. Who?
You gave Mustafi a 3.
3, yeah. And I'm giving Kolasinac a 2. Yeah.
How much you giving Kolasinac?
2.
2.
Yeah. He
and
can't defend.
Socrates a 5.
Chambers. Yeah, because he has shown some strength. That's the only reason why I'm giving him a 5.
Better than Mustafi.
Yes.
Wow.
Anyone's better than Mustafi.
Well, look. The only thing I can say,
Chambers is given a 7 because he's actually been the best. He's been the best centre back until he got injured. So, and it's time for him to, come back and be part of the first team because he has actually been the best defender.
Yeah, the one thing I got to remind you of, Tony, is the first 6 months, the first half of the season under Emery, Mustafi was a complete joke. He was just a complete joke, and Socrates was actually our starting centre back at that point. So I can see where she would say 5, even though our defense is just atrocious. But Mustafi really redeemed himself after that Chelsea game. He really redeemed himself, and for me, I'm not his biggest fan. I don't like the player at all, but I've had to give him a 6. I thought Mustafi improved. Maybe Mustafi should have been a 5 because I forgot to take into account how bad he was under Emery. But it is what it is, isn't it? It's all subjective. Tony, what's your grades? What's your scores on the board?
First, I'll explain why I was quite puzzled by Ebony's marking, because everybody, to a man, with the exception of Ebony, marked Socrates worse than Mustafi. And I have to agree with that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, Kolasinac easily is our worst defender. I'd give him a 2. I'd give Socrates a 3, and I'd give Mustafi a 4. Because they're the 3 worst players. Holding, I'll give a 5. Luiz, because of his leadership, I'll give a 6. Chambers, I'll give a 7, and Mari, I'll give a 6.
That's fair. That's fair scores. Stephen has given Mustafi a 7, Luiz a 7, Chambers a 7, Holding a 6, Socrates 3, Kolasinac 2, Mari no time. Okay. D star Luiz an 8, Socrates a 4, Holding a 4. Wow. Chambers a 7, Mustafi a 7. Okay. Kolasinac a 4. Yeah, that's big respect there. But again, for me, as I said, we got to remember how bad Mustafi was under Emery. I think that's why we were so surprised under Arteta, how he was being able to put in some solid performances, still making a few mistakes. I mean, the Manchester City game, when we lost 3-0, Mustafi's performance, do you remember when he tried to drag down De Bruyne and Sterling on the end? He just got absolutely whooped for pace. So he struggled, but overall, I think he's been solid.
Mustafi will be well remembered for that tackle against mid-air.
For real. So, guys, we're going to move on now and do the wing backs. So, guys in the chat, let's see your marks for the wing backs. Why have I got Kolasinac name there twice? Hold on a second. Let me just take him out.
Because he's a left back, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Right, okay, so let's fix that. Fix it. Okay, yep. Guys in the chat, throw up your numbers. Before we do that, Ashik says, anyone who rates Socrates shouldn't win a goal concede against Watford. Yeah, look, he's just not great. Ebony and Tony are always keeping it real. Can't wait for Xhaka's rating. That's from Joseph. Stephen, Mustafi was solid in Europa League. Emery never picked him in the Premiership. Yeah, he was just so bad in the Premiership. Carletto, with those scores, we definitely have to get Gabriel. That's the comment of the day so far. Bertram, Bertram, you got the conch on that. Carleto's killing me.
So for for those players, Suarez a 5, Tierney a 7, Maitland-Niles a 7, well 6.5 I should say, and Bellerin a 6.5. So my rationale for these grades, I think Suarez we haven't seen enough, and what we're seeing is he's been average. He hasn't been outstanding the games we have seen him. I think Tierney started off really slow. He came in injured, got roughed up against West Ham where he'd been out for a while, and played really well after coming back. And again, we're judging from the entire season, not just the second half when we won the FA Cup. So I thought Tierney was very, very good in the second half, maybe an 8 in the second half.
Yeah.
I thought he was average in the first part when he first joined us. Maitland-Niles, also the same thing, wasn't playing a lot early in the season, especially under Arteta. I think everyone focused on the Liverpool game, not sorry, Liverpool, the final against Chelsea and the game against Man City about how well he played. I thought where he really showed his mettle was when we played Wolves and Traore was running rampant and he came in and shut him down. And that was where he sort of started to clearly demonstrate his ability, all his physical capabilities and defensive capabilities, and how well he can be. And that probably turned his season around and turn the opinions around, because nowadays you hear a lot of people are very concerned about the fact that we may be trying to sell him. And if you notice the news, which is, I think all but one team have registered an interest in him, if you listen to the rumors, which suggests that he's very highly valued across the entire league, and that people see him, people consider him to be a utility player. Remember, he started as a winger, and you can see those skills when he played, that he has winger skills. And he wants to be a center midfielder or someplace in the midfield. And he's played wing back. So where hasn't he played in the goal? So I do think players like him, we do need to keep because of his versatility. And I think Bellerin made improvement, continues throughout the year. It was stop and start for Bellerin. Obviously, he had some injuries during the season. But I thought he played well. So I gave him a 6.5 also. So not stellar ratings, but I'm going to always focus on the fact that we came 8th. I know we won the FA Cup, but we finished 8th in the league. And our defense gave us 48 goals, actually.
Yeah, because for me, you see, I mean, we're gonna come on to Aubameyang later on, but if it was just for the league, my ratings for Aubameyang would have been nominal, still good, but nominal. But because on this show, I laid out a challenge to Aubameyang. My challenge was, you can't do it in the big games. You can't do it where it matters. You can't do it in the way that Thierry Henry did it, which would allow us the ability to win something. And he proved me wrong in the FA Cup. And for me, look, me and Tony have had doubts about Aubameyang, and we always talk about it. All those concerns have alleviated for me now, because he's proved to me that he can be a leader and a winner on this team. And
I wouldn't say alleviated. I think he does it in sporadic games. He can still he can still disappear in a game.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but the question, Tony, was, can he do it in the big games against the big teams, which he didn't do?
Listen,
and he's answered that.
I don't ever doubt he can score goals in big games. What I doubt is he can do the work rate which is required of the left wing position, which means tracking back as well.
Yeah.
I have, if I was just scoring him on going forward, I'd probably give him a 10.
Yeah.
And I say one thing, guys. I say one thing, which is I heard a lot of Arsenal fans knocking William. William plays defense.
Yeah, he does.
William doesn't stop running. People don't realize his defense is as good as his offense. He's a workhorse. So when you have somebody win, you won't be hearing the complaints about not tracking back, because that's what he does really well.
Bertram, I'm going to run something by you. Do you know who is 8th in the league in chances created with 79? 8th in the league.
Our player?
No, I'm just, you mentioned the player just now.
Well, it must be William, because he creates a lot. No, he creates a ton of chances.
Yeah.
I mean, think about this.
In the league in chances created.
He doesn't lose the ball. So when we complain about him being 32 and why you buying him, there are a couple of things, attributes, which is, I'm going to go off on William here, but fit as a fiddle, even though he's slightly injured now, doesn't lose the ball, very, very skillful, can beat a man, take him out of the dribble, scores free kick really well, has one of his better scoring and assist season this season. I think it was like 10 and 7 or what the numbers were.
It was that was in the Premiership. It was 11 and 9, 11 goals, 9 assists throughout. Because remember, they're in the Champions League, and
Okay, but I'm just saying the totality of the player is what enamours, I think, Arsenal leadership to want to bring him in. And also, he's not disruptive in dressing room, as very, very obvious, based on a lot of their comments by Lampard and by his teammates. So I don't see the knock. I hear people on other channels like AFTV, want him to join the club. He's a Chelsea reject. There's a difference between Cech, who's a Chelsea reject, and William, who they want to keep, but they want to pay him for 3 years, want to pay him for 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. So, guys, we've got 18 with 5 for Bellerin, 9 for Tierney. Whoa, bro. 5 for Suarez, 8 for Niles. Man gave Tierney a 9. You might need to 18. You might need to watch a few of the games before Arteta came in. Carletta has gone for 7 Bellerin. That's decent scores for Bellerin. 8 for Tierney, 7 for Niles, and 5 for Suarez. Kuke's gone for 5 for Bellerin, 7 for Tierney, 5 for Suarez, 7 for Niles. Ashek's gone for 5 for Suarez. Bellerin and Niles get a 6. Tierney a 9 against. That's a second 9 for Tierney. And we got another one incoming. Vincey's gone for 7 for Bellerin, 9 for Tierney, 5 for Suarez. Niles gets an 8. Bro, just round it up to an 8, man. What's up with the... Come on, man. Round it up to an 8, Vincey. And a 0... Kolasinac just gone, but yeah, we get the drift. Stephen's gone for 6.5 for Bellerin, 8 for Tierney, 2 for Suarez. Wow, that's harsh, bro. Niles, 7 after the restart. I hear you, bro. Joseph has gone for 6 for Bellerin, 7 for Tierney, 6 Suarez. Suarez, yeah, I mean, look, he hasn't played a bad game. He's been average in 2 games, and he had that wonder goal as well. I don't think it's been poor. I think it's been average. Maitland-Niles, 6. D-Star, Bellerin, 5. Tierney, 8. Suarez, 5. Niles, 7. Versatility, I hear you, man. Lee, good to see you in the chat, Lee. 5 for Bellerin. Suarez, no score. Tierney, 8. Niles, 7. Ebony.
Okay. Bellerin, I'll give a 5. There have been times this season where he's played as if he's afraid to get an injury again, and he hasn't always been at the races in terms of his speed, and he has actually looked a bit I don't want to say lackluster, but he hasn't shown the player. He hasn't shown himself to be the player that we know that he is, in terms of his speed and his and the fact that he can just run down the flank. So I'm going to give him a 5, and that's primarily because he's been playing like he's scared to be injured again. Tierney, I love the boy to bits. I'm going to give him a 9. He's been absolutely immense down that left-hand side. The boy can pass, he can run. He can run with the ball. He can just do everything. That left-hand side for me is his. Suarez, on the games that I've seen him play, I'm going to give him a standard 5. I've not seen enough of him. I want to see more of him next season. AMN, I'm going to give him an 8. He's versatile. He can play either left or right. Over the season, he's actually improved. For somebody who begged to play in the middle, but he was told, no, you're going to play where we tell you to. He's actually owned that right-hand side for me, and he's only improved. And if we sell him and we send him to Tottenham, I'll be pissed. I mean, I'll be pissed if he goes anyway. But he's actually improved under Arteta, and for that, I'm going to give him an 8.
Excellent. We've got one more score coming in before I go to Tony. CJ's gone for Bellerin 6, Tierney 8, Maitland-Niles 6, and Suarez 5. Tony, you got the conch.
Okay, some interesting scores. I go Bellerin 5.
Seems to be the consensus.
I go with that I give that with a caveat because I do think he was coming back from an horrific injury and really did take, I think, his time not to overdo himself. And by the end of the year, he seemed half decent, like he was on the way back, but he's still got a way to go. So I'm giving him a 5.
See, to me, that sounds like you're describing Rob Holding. If you didn't say Bellerin and you said Apollo,
I gave Holding a 5.
Yeah.
So I gave them both the same score because I think, you know, they both kind of struggled to get into it.
Agreed.
But by the end of the season, they showed some glimpses of what could be. I'm going to leave Tierney for now. I'm going to give Soares a 4. I did originally give him a 5, but I'm going to give him a 4 because now that I think about it, he didn't show me enough. I mean, the goal apart, he just doesn't show me enough as yet. So I'm just gonna mark him down a little bit. Maitland-Niles, I originally gave him a 5.
What?
Yeah, and the reason was the first half of the season and the fallout with Arteta, because I thought that was amateurish.
Okay.
I really did.
All right.
Bear in mind that this is the guy that could have held down the right back slot, but made the whole management team go, we need to go out and buy a right back.
So I just want to enlighten you.
He could have been Bellerin's upgrade.
So
but he went, I'm gonna stall on you lot because I don't think I'm getting what I deserve, or whatever his reason was. I thought that was completely wrong. When you consider what Saka did in terms of coming into the team at left midfield, then playing centre, then going back to left back, and then playing right midfield, and the attitude of Saka compared to Maitland-Niles is what makes Maitland-Niles get marked down as much as he did.
Okay, so I'll take that because I did want to say to you, Tony, that obviously you know I do the player ratings for 101. The average score in the first 20 games, Maitland-Niles was 6.8%. Sorry, 6.8. So he was bringing in sevens, 6.5, 6, 7. So he was doing really well.
But then he gets marked down for his attitude.
Yeah, late to practice twice. Yeah.
So
doghouse.
We're judging based on game performances, not based on.
No, this is a season review. This is a season review, and the season.
Yeah,
review,
but we don't know what transpired.
Yeah, we do. He was late to practice twice, and him and Guendouzi.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. That's a reason why he gets a 4 grade.
Of course.
When it comes to you marking Xhaka, I'm sure you're going to mark him based on not everything that took place on the pitch.
No. Ask Apollo.
Okay.
I think he did what he had to do. I've said it 1,000 times.
All right.
I would have given him the finger too.
Yeah, but I remember, guys, I set the rules, and remember what I told you. I don't give a shit. You mark them on.
Don't boo me. Don't boo me. You're gonna feel the repercussions.
So I'm a little bit less than the majority on Ainsley. I do think he showed the last 5-6 games that, you know, we need to keep him. We have got to keep him, as someone just put in the group. I do think we have to keep him. And next year, he could have a position of his own in that team. He literally could.
They won't sell him. They won't sell him, bro.
So that leads me to Tierney. Like Ebony. Love him. And I understand why, Bertrand, you marked him down a bit, but I got to bring that back up to reality because the kid was phenomenal when he found his feet. And just remember that at the start of the season, Emery was saying, you're overcommitting too much. You're too hard in practice. And he was just trying to, you know, overcome an injury. Again, another one of them. Coming from another league, which wasn't at the same standard. So had to up his game. But he came in with the right attitude from day one. And yeah, it took him a little while. But I have to go with this guy, 8.5. I originally marked him an 8. But after seeing Ebony give him a 9, I had to up my mark. Seeing as many people gave him a 9 as well. I'm going to 8.5 because he finished phenomenally and deserves to be a contender for player of the season. Deserves to be.
Yeah, I think so. So when I saw the top three and I saw the names that were in there, I was like, yeah, where's Kieran Tierney?
Yeah.
Because
and even
good, because you had a poor first half. Because you guys are great based on the second half.
I don't think it was poor. I think it was average.
He had a poor first half.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's poor. I'd say it's average.
There was another thing. I thought that, for me personally, I thought he was so good. I thought he would have been a contender potentially for Young Player of the Year.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Tony, when he played West Ham, Antonio manhandled him when he got hurt. No, guys, I'm telling you, you're very focused on the second half of the year. He got manhandled against West Ham when he pulled his shoulder out. Manhandled.
Bertram, I'm not saying you're wrong. You know me, Bertram. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I listen to everything you say. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying to you, listen to what people are saying. They're saying that Bellerin and Holding were carrying some serious long-term injuries. Tierney had not played a game in 5 months. He was out for a long time. When he came back, he was slow. I talked about the Man United game when he went up against James. And I was saying he gave as good as he got. James was giving him a hard time, man. James from Man United was running him. With that pace, it was really a welcome to the Premiership game for Kieran Tierney. He struggled in a few games. I get you, Bertram. I agree with you. I'm on your side, mate. But I'm saying as this guy got fitter, he got better. And he integrated into this system. And, I remember when people were saying, oh, now he's fit, are we going to sell him? All this talk about him going to Leicester, to Brendan Rodgers, what a load of rubbish. Remember when people were saying, are we going to leave Saka at left back? Are you kidding me?
So, Apollo, you just made my argument for me.
Yes,
there's a reason why they were saying that. There was a reason. Look, I'm not saying the kid is not great. He is great. But I'm saying judge on the whole season. If you took 10 tests in a season and you got 600s, and 450s, then you're saying you average 100? No, you don't. You're going to average the 10 marks, which is 450s and the 610s and the 600s. You can't say, well, he was average in the first 20 games, he was stellar in the next 20 games, and then say, you know what, he's stellar. He's stellar for the whole season. He may be stellar going forward, but he's not stellar for the whole season. It just wasn't.
So, guys, Mohammed is saying, where is Giroud? He's still in David Luiz's back pocket. He's still in his back pocket.
Leave Giroud where he is.
Right, guys, I'm going to give my grades. Bellerin 5. His ACL injury at the start of the season really killed his year for me. Even when he came back, he didn't cross the halfway line because he was struggling with a groin problem. One has to wonder why he was even on the team sheet if he was carrying a groin problem. We knew we were short in that position, and that's why we had to get Suarez. But I think look, you could have survived with Socrates at right back. At least you would have got more out of what Bellerin was doing. Bellerin was awful in the first half. But I think we saw glimpses that he can fit into Arteta's tactical system, and I think Arteta needs to continue to groom Suarez and choose which is what does he actually want to do in that position. So he gets a 5 for me. Suarez 5.5, solid addition. He gets forward well. He sees a pass as well. Yeah, that's important because we got no players who can see passes right now. But we don't know how good he can be until we see him get a proper run in the team. So Suarez got a 5.5 for me. Niles got a 7 for me. I've been giving him 7s for most time. He's very consistent, integral part of the side. Even before Arteta came, he was a solid player with solid grades in every game. No doubt Arteta's best right wing back FA Cup run proved just how important he is to the side. Kieran Tierney, I gave him an 8. His willingness to drive forward and whip the ball in to the box accurately under Arteta. The composure in the back three as well. Do you remember when Kolasinac was stinking it up? And I was the first one that came out and said Tierney needs to play in that back three, just like Monreal did under Wenger in that system. And what did they do? They slipped him into a back three, and the rest is history. So I think he's done. Yeah. I totally agree. So guys, we're going to move on to the midfield. And guys in the chat, throw up your numbers so we can talk about your views and opinions. Bertram, you got the conch. This is quite what we got. We've got 5 players here. So let's hear it, Bertram. Let's see which way you're going to go on this.
So before we go into the players, I say Maitland-Niles is not a right wing back. He's just a wing back. he can play left and right, so I wouldn't label him a right wing back because the last 2 games he played left wing back.
He's played 4 positions this season, so he is what he is.
Xhaka, I gave a 5. I think Xhaka is well respected by his managers, whether it's Emery or Wenger or any of the managers. He must be doing something right, at least what they want him to carry out. And I thought in the last part of the season, especially against the City, Liverpool, Chelsea game, he had to plug the middle. He's still very error prone. Still probably caused more error that give away goals in the league than most midfielders do. But look, he is the captain of the team, no matter what I'm saying about Aubameyang or Luiz. I think Jack has always come in a person who seemed to command respect among his teammates. So I gave him a 5. Ceballos, I gave a 7. I thought that Ceballos initially, when we played against Liverpool, when we first saw him, everyone said sign him immediately. He looked like, the house on fire and he's great. And he played Liverpool and he looked like he was lost, totally lost. He got injured after that, and then he came back. And I thought the second half of the season he played really well, so I gave him a 7. Guendouzi, it's hard to grade Guendouzi. I mean, he was a constant and a starter under Emery. And then for the rest of this, under Arteta and even earlier for Emery, it wasn't the same. I gave him a 5.5. What's my Torreira? I gave a 5. Torreira probably deserved a 4, frankly. It just wasn't a good season.
4?
Torreira hasn't done much. He hasn't done much at all. And when he's on the field sometime in certain games, he looks like he's overrun. He gets overrun. When we play the Man City in Liverpool, he's not there. He gets totally overrun physically and otherwise. He's just not in the game. I know Emery was trying him at the right midfield versus center midfield where he likes to play. But against the bigger teams, he's just not there. Now, who else am I missing? Willock. Now, Willock had a really interesting season. Didn't start a ton of games. I gave Willock a 5. Probably his age. He's young. He has potential. But I gave him a 5. I thought his managers like him quite a bit. I think, look, his worldly against Liverpool. He gets a point for his worldly against Liverpool.
Well, how many goals did he score? 5, 6?
Probably about that. But most of the goals were not in the PL, actually. And then who else am I missing?
It's on the screen. It's on the screen,
That's
bro.
it. He's done everyone.
I've done everyone. Yeah. So yeah. Look, Torreira, I gave him a 4. It wasn't a good season, and I think we should sell him. I think it's when you're not physical, when you're not athletic, and you're that small, unless you're very skillful, it doesn't work. Not in a CM position. It just doesn't work.
Right. So before we go into, actually, I'll do Tony's thing at the end. Let me focus on what the guys are saying in the chat. So we've got 18 with Torreira 6, Xhaka 4, Guendouzi 7, Willock 4, Ceballos 8, CJ, Xhaka 5, Torreira 4, Guendouzi 4, Willock 5.5, and Ceballos 7. Vincey's gone for Torreira 2, Xhaka 6, Guendouzi 6, Willock. You hear my voice go up and down as I get surprised. Ceballos 7. I'm going to be laughing at the recording of this. Ceballos 7, Carleto's gone, Torreira 5, Xhaka 5, Guendouzi 4 again. What's going on with these Guendouzi scores? Willock 6 and Ceballos 7.5. Lee has gone Torreira 5, Xhaka 6, Guendouzi 4. Oh my God. I think that's because they hate the guy. Willock 5, Ceballos 7, Stephen's gone for Torreira 4, Xhaka 8 since Arteta. Okay, but what would you give him over the whole season, bro? Guendouzi 6.5, Willock 5, Ceballos 6.5. Kuke has gone for Xhaka 3, Torreira 5, Guendouzi 6, Willock 5, Ceballos 8. Ebony, you got the conch.
Okay, Torreira, I'll give a 6. No, he's not the most physical. Yes, he's quite small, but you have to remember that he was also played out of position as well.
Agreed.
Okay, that's not his fault. That was Emery's fault.
100%.
However, he had an injury. He came back. And when he did come back from the injury, he played as he's another player that played as though he was quite cautious of his injury. But he did the best that he could, given the fact that he was played out of position. So I'm going to give him a 6. Xhaka.
You make up some names, man. They're going to start rubbing up.
Listen to me. The only thing that Xhaka has, he's got 2 things. He has muscle and he has a spray when he's ready. When he's ready. Other than that, okay. That yeah, okay. Yeah. But otherwise, he's got nothing to his game. The amount of times he's given the ball away this season, especially against Tottenham, I'm sorry, but he needs to go. I'm giving him a 2. Guendouzi, he's young, you know, he's going to make mistakes. There's been times when he's held onto the ball too much or for too long. I'm going to give him a 6. Willock, he's not played enough for me, but when he has played, you know, he's been impressive. I think, you know, he's another young player that needs to be given a chance to flourish. So I'm going to give him a 6. And Ceballos, I'm going to give him an 8 because that boy knows how to boss the midfield.
So, Tony, let me do my scores before you, Tony. Give me a little bit more time to think. Torreira, for me, got a 5. Lost his starting job under, I don't know what Emery was doing with him. The biggest confusion was the season before when he had those standout games against Liverpool, Spurs. He dominated those games, defensive midfielder. And then Emery wakes up this season and decides to play him at the point in the diamond as a number 10 to win the ball back high. It doesn't work. It's a complete capitulation of the guy's character. He then says he wants to leave the club because we're not playing him in a position we want. When Arteta took over, remember this, guys, one of the first games Arteta took over, Arteta played him defensive midfield. He had a stunning half and he got injured and was taken off at half time. He hasn't recovered from that. He's just terrible, you know. And since then, it's been the Dani Ceballos show. So for me, I gave him a 5. Performed well, nowhere near as effective as Dani Ceballos. And quite frankly, I think he's going to want to leave. I don't think he's going to want to stay. I don't know what's going to happen really with the player, to be quite honest. Xhaka, I gave a 5. I haven't seen anything from him.
Sorry, Apollo, did you give Ceballos a 5 as well?
No.
Oh.
No. Xhaka
and Xhaka a 5.
Yes. Xhaka, key figure for Arteta. I've seen him roll up his sleeves and commit himself to the system and some blocks. But I just don't see enough from this player, and I think we can really improve in that position. I gave him a 5. I thought it was an average season, average score for an average season for me. Ceballos, I gave a 7. He lost his direction under Unai Emery, as you guys know. Again, another one. This is Torreira all over again. The difference is, unlike Torreira, he was saying, Ceballos was saying, I'm not going to stay. I'm going to go back to Spain. That's when he started talking about his boyhood club, Real Betis, and he wanted to go back home. But he was a vital cog in the system under Arteta. His blend of defensive and attacking capabilities was there for all to see. And look, I do take the piss when I say he's got 2 assists and 2 goals, but I really think he can do more than that, given a run throughout the whole season. It's very difficult to judge a guy on half a season, but I think if we play him for a whole season, I think he can deliver much more. Unfortunately, he's not here now, and we don't really know what's going to happen. I don't think he's coming back personally, but we'll have to wait and see. Willock, I gave a 5 under Emery. He impressed in the Premier League and the Europa, but his form dipped under Arteta. Playing further forward, I didn't really see him having much as an influence on the game as he did under Unai Emery. So I gave him a 5, and that's it. That's it, guys, for me. Tony, I'm going to throw this up because you've sent it to us. So while you're doing your grades there, I'm going to throw this up as well. This, as you can guys saw, I said Willian is 7th in the league and charts is created, and Tony's happily put up a figure for us. here so that we can have a look. If I can move it like that, you lot can all see. And you can.
Alexander-Arnold created 87 from a wing back position,
Jeez.
from a right back, not even wing back.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
amazing.
I didn't even see that shit. Oh my God.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. Wow.
Yeah, that is a wow.
Tony, the thing is,
Yeah,
there's not a single Arsenal player in there.
exactly.
Are you surprised?
Well, William, if you consider that being a done deal, but yeah, I'm actually not surprised by that. I probably imagine the person coming closest to being on that list is Pepe.
Yes, it would be. Yeah, Pepe leads the team in dribbles, chances created. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so he's probably not far off Mohamed Salah.
I think Pepe's numbers was 54.
50. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right.
That's all. You know what makes it worse, Tony? You've got 2 Liverpool players in there in the top 10.
Hmm.
Madison.
Oh my Lord.
Madison and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oh, sorry, Mo Salah even.
Yeah, Mo Salah's got 61 there.
Yeah.
So these guys were just scoring machines at Liverpool. Yeah. Big eye opener there.
Prowse plays for. He plays for
James Ward.
Southampton. And Lucas is a left back for Everton, actually. That's impressive for a left back to have 72 created chances.
It is. I mean, what's his name? Saka had 39, but then we know that Saka didn't play as much Yeah, I mean, throughout the whole season, especially in the latter part of the season as well, where he lost his position really to Maitland-Niles. Yeah, interesting shit that. Go ahead, Tony.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Torreira, who I gave a 4. Just can't see him being a presence, blood. You know, I keep referring back to this scenario where you're walking through the tunnel and you see this 5'3" midget across the other side of you, and you think, well, yeah, not really worried about him. I want a big brother, you know, and that's why we need Partey. We need somebody that when you look across, you go, uh-oh, I got my work cut out, you know. So 4 for Torreira, 4 for Willock. I'm conflicted on Xhaka. Actually, let me go to Guendouzi. I'm just going to give him a straight 5. Because, yeah, he was good during his time at the start under Emery this season. But what he did off the pitch this season is a bitch move. And I take away points for him. And quite frankly, 5 is actually quite good. I might give him a 4.5, actually. Xhaka, yeah, the guy who I'm conflicted with, because I mentioned this in a chat on the 101 chat earlier in the week, because I believe that Xhaka is the one who has led the team in terms of fighting back against the 55 redundancies, which shows me the guy's got character.
It's a shame he hasn't got it on the pitch.
Well, this is the interesting point, Apollo. I actually think he does have some kind of character on the pitch because he's quite often very vocal. And obviously, under Emery, the players chose him.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah? So that kind of tells you he has some kind of respect. I know, Ebony, you're thinking, well, what the hell? I can't give him a 2, Ebony.
No. It's not even that. It's just that, you know, if you're the manager, you choose the captain, not ask the players to choose a captain.
Yeah. But you know what? That's beside the point. The point is when the players were asked, who do you want as the captain? They chose Xhaka. And you've got to remember that even when Arteta came in, Xhaka is co-captain. Yeah? Aubameyang is the captain. When Aubameyang comes off the pitch, Xhaka is the captain. Or Bellerin, if Bellerin is playing.
Yeah, because one time he did it and there was talk about it in the fan base, and the second time it happened, it went to Bellerin.
So, you know, it's kind of, I actually think he does something. He has some kind of stranglehold over influencing the people who make the decisions. And obviously, when he doesn't play, we really go to pot. That's what you also have to consider. He really does have some kind of influence, because without him, we're really bad. And if you look at most people's lineup for next season, most people aren't picking Partey and Torreira as the middle of the park. They're picking Xhaka and Partey. So you kind of go, well, if people are still willing to give him that chance, then should we be giving him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt? And I know your individual reason, Apollo, for not liking the guy and for marking him, I can't even see what you marked him, 5, was it?
I haven't done it, my markings yet.
Haven't done it. So he is a bit of a conflict, because, I kind of see where your hatred of the player is, because
actually, sorry,
he disrespected.
Sorry, my mistake. I did do my markings. Sorry, I did do my grades.
Gave him a 5.
I gave him 5. Yeah,
Gave him 5.
Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 5 as well. And now leaving to Ceballos, who I kind of think flatters to deceive. I see that Ebony gave him an 8. I just cannot give that guy an 8. Bertram, you gave him a 7. Apollo, you gave him a...
Who's that?
Ceballos.
I gave him a 7. 7,
okay. Yeah. Now, the reason I think he flatters to deceive is I love his work rate of late, getting all over the pitch. And obviously, he's playing alongside Xhaka in front of the back four. So he's playing a sort of CDM role. But is he actually a CDM?
No, I don't think he is. Because he's an attacking player. He's a front three player.
If we could retain him for next season, would you not want to play him a little bit further up? Which is where the problem lies for me. Because even if you play him further up the field, is he going to deliver you anything better than an Ozil at his best? Is he going to, he's not a creator of chances. He's not a scorer of goals.
Yeah, but remember what I said though, Tony. I think I said the blend of defensive and attacking capabilities was there for us to see, and that's what he's been famous for with the Spanish national team and Real Madrid.
That position is called midfield. You're a defender and an attacker. It's called the midfield. Remember back in the day, Rocky Rollcastle we didn't call Rocky a CDM. We didn't call Paul Davis a CDM. We didn't call.
What do you call lazy? What do you call lazy?
They were just midfielders, and they did.
What do you call lazy? What do you call lazy? A lot of people love, by the way, they love lazy.
So I'm just looking at Ceballos and not getting overhyped by him and saying he does great in terms of movement of the ball. Defensively, he's good. But what is he?
You're really struggling with this one, aren't you?
I'm going to give him a 6.
Okay, you're going to give him a 6.
More than a 6.
I'll say one thing, Tony. He doesn't shy away from the ball.
He doesn't. You're
Agreed.
right.
He wants the ball. He wants the ball.
You're right.
Agreed. Someone's just inboxed me and told me that I forgot to give a score for Guendouzi. Sorry, I apologize that, guys. I gave Guendouzi a 6. He was excellent under Emery, virtually swinging games into Arsenal's favour single-handedly. Remember, I talked to you guys before doing the player ratings. He had 4 man of the matches in the first 7 games. He was literally one of the reasons that saw us 3rd place after 8 games. And he just struggled to find a place in Arteta's midfield. And look, he did have a place there. It's just he doesn't get on with the manager, and that relationship is irreparable. So whether that affects his score or not, I don't think it should. So I gave him a 6. It should probably be a 7. I see a lot of guys giving him a 7. I see some guys giving him a 4. I'm thinking, have you actually seen him play this season? But yeah. I see some guys giving him a 4. I'm like, what? Yeah,
No, but
I
gave
don't know
him a
what.
4 because of
Yeah.
the foolishness.
Oh, because of the
Idiocy.
foolishness. All right, okay. I
You
gave
gotta
him
go
a
with
6.
that. You got to consider that. You know what? Here's a guy who's got the world at his feet. He's got in the French national team thanks to Arsenal. Because don't forget, he came from the 2nd division.
Oh yeah, I know.
French football.
But
and this is the way he treats us.
I know.
In fact, he should be getting worse. He should be getting more harassment than Xhaka.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
So Tony, I'll say this, guys.
Shouldn't be getting more harassment than Xhaka.
Guys. I'll say a couple of things. One is Guendouzi and Xhaka are very emotive people. That's very obvious, right? And when you're emotive, you get in trouble a lot of times. And then when you're young, it only exacerbates the situation. So I don't know what happened with Guendouzi. We know the Brighton situation. We don't know exactly what transpired. So we're judging from afar. And most players want to play, right? Even Ozil wants to play. He's just not very good. But anyway, even Ozil wants to play. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to knock Guendouzi and say, you know what, he should be totally gotten rid of. I just need to hear both sides first, because there's always two sides to a story. Yeah, you always going to take the manager's side, and the come out, there's two sides to the story.
Yeah, well, Bertram, I can only tell you what I know. And what I know is there was a falling out because Guendouzi thinks he's in the right because he was sticking up for his teammate. I talked to Tony before about this with offensive linemen and their quarterbacks. When your guy gets picked on, you stick up for your player. Guendouzi did that. He felt he was in the right. When he was told to apologize for it, he refused. And ever since then, from what I know, is he was told he wasn't going to play again unless he apologized, and he has not apologized, and it's irreparable. That's all I know. Whatever could have happened after that, I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, that's where his situation is. So you have to understand, when Tony's comparing him to Xhaka, which I don't agree with at all, this guy stuck up for his teammate and is getting chastised for it.
Yeah, but what? Hang on. Which comes first, Apollo? The fans and the team, or one player?
Your teammates come first.
But you're about to ruin your career, potentially. Yeah? You're about to ruin your career because you want to stick up for some player?
Yeah, I can't.
Guys, I think that's been over. Here's what happened.
I can't contradict myself and say if the Redskins linemen did that, which they have done in the past, they shouldn't be doing it. And then an Arsenal, but I can't, because I'd be contradicting myself, wouldn't I? I'd be saying if your quarterback gets knocked down, you need to defend your quarterback. I can't say, I can't do that. We're not
talking about a Colin Kaepernick here, because don't forget, when Colin Kaepernick started taking a knee, he was still in the team. He was appearing in the team.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when your quarterback gets low blowed and cheap shotted.
The one thing you don't do is take a stance that means nothing. What you standing for?
No, Tony, there's more. Here's what my view is, Tony. Arteta wasn't playing Guendouzi regularly. So you're playing regularly under Emery. I'm not sure if you've ever been through this before in your playing career, but if you're playing a manager regularly, and then you're the manager bench you play periodically, there is a resentment built up, especially for a young player. I'm telling you, it's not just about the Brighton game. He and Arteta haven't gotten along since he came here, and it was very obvious that the Brighton game was probably the culmination of all that transpired. But Guendouzi wasn't an automatic starter like he was under Emery. He just wasn't.
Sorry, I'm typing to the guys in the chat to throw up their scores for these players.
All I'm going to say is to say the team comes first for me. I don't care about your behind-the-scenes business. The team comes first. Yeah, this is not Brighton. This is not Luton Town. This is the Arsenal. Yeah, and it's funny because today I watched Misunderstood, the Anelka documentary, and I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it, but the much aligned striker Nicolas Anelka, you know, one of my best friends, a guy that I know intricately. His brothers and I are like that, very close, and you could see that he was all about the heart, but he was always present. Yeah, I don't get this. I'm not even. Listen, the team just won the FA Cup, and you couldn't even send a message out to say, "Well done, guys." At least Ozil has the heart to say, "Well done, guys. Come on, the Gunners." You know, Ozil, as much as you might deride him, he's still appearing at practice every day and giving the guys a G up to say, "Come on, guys, we can do something here." Yeah. Whereas Guendouzi has, in my eyes, he's shat on the team. He's shat. on the team.
And he
Basically
doesn't
saying 2 fingers to the whole team,
Yeah.
all of you, like Nicholas and Nelka in the World Cup, and saying, "I'm gone."
Right. So Tony, hold on. Tony, Arteta agrees with you, which is the reason why he has a problem. And Guendouzi disagrees. Then Guendouzi thinks he was sticking up for his teammates, and that's the reason why this disparity is where it is. Go on, Bertram.
Look. I think sometimes when you're 20, 21 years old, come on, guys, you're a baby. You literally are a baby, and you make decisions, impromptu decisions, or rash decisions, or can't see the big picture. You can't see the forest from the trees, right? And I think that's what happened with Guendouzi, which is don't realize, as Tony is saying, which is it's always going to be about the team. So look, it's not unique to Guendouzi. The Ozil situation is no different for me. He's getting paid a boatload of money for doing nothing. Gareth Bale at Real Madrid is the same thing, which is I think I'm right. The manager and I are not getting along. Ozil and Arteta are not getting along. But Ozil is a much more mature person to realize, you know what? I got to keep people on my side. I'm getting paid a whole lot of money. I can't be deemed as this person who is negative and not support the team. But all he's doing is getting paid. He's not doing anything. He's just getting paid. Gareth Bale is, on the other hand, doing the opposite. He's rubbing the fans' face to say, I'm getting a lot of money. I'm not leaving because you didn't send me to China. But it happens with players and managers. And I think what we always do as fans is we take the side of the team and we disregard players. We don't care about players. As long as they play well for us, that's all we care about. When they're done, we don't really care about them.
Happens. Look at Robin Van Persie. Look at Ashley Cole. All of them have done their things for their own reasons, but we've turned on them because we look at it from the point of view of the team. But in this particular situation, I do think, you know what you've done, you're dead to me. Guendouzi is dead to me. I'm never going to see him again. Yeah, and you're going to be.
And maybe the player wants to leave. Maybe the player wants to leave.
Because in his eyes, he wants us to fight and stick up. We've all seen his performances. He gives everything when he's on the pitch. In his eyes, he doesn't want to play for a team that doesn't want to fight and stick up for each other in the way he did against his teammate. The fact that he's been told what he did was wrong, he considers Arsenal weak. Yeah, that's what I've been told. I can only tell you what I've been told. Take it how you will. But that's he no longer wants to be a part of that, and that's why he wants to move on. So look, I like I said, I look at it towards American football, how it works out, so I can see both sides. I just think it's a situation, regardless what my opinion is, that is irreparable and it's not going to work. So I've let him go, and I've had to let him go because he's one of my players. He's one of the guys who I thought was going to lead this team into the future. And quite frankly, I'm disappointed to see him go because I rate him so highly. Guys are ready to roll with the next. These players have been up here waiting for you to give them some love, guys. So before I go to Bertram, let's look at some scores on the doors. Vinci has gone Nelson 4, Pepe 8, Martinelli 9, Saka 9, Ozil 6. We're going to see some real big scores right here. 18 has gone Nelson 6, Pepe 8, Martinelli 9, Saka 9, Ozil 6. What's this? Joseph has gone. Oh, is that the ones before? That's the one before where Joseph was given 3 for Torreira, 5 Saka, 5 for Guendouzi, 6 for Willock, and 7 for Ceballos. Stephen's gone for 4 for Nelson, 6 for Pepe, Martinelli 7.5, Saka 8, Ozil 0. Ozil got man of the match in 2 games this season. The first one, I believe, what was it? Everton, I think it was. The other one was Newcastle. And he gets a 0 for his troubles. That's the life of a Premiership player, guys. Lee's given Nelson a 5, Pepe 8, Martinelli 8, Saka 9, Ozil 4. Kulke's given Nelson a 5, Pepe 8, Martinelli 8, Saka 9, Ozil 6. Kulke saying Ozil played well before the break. He was man of the match against. Kulke, the truth is we don't know what's happened between Arteta and Ozil. Arteta did mention something about he didn't come back after the break in shape. I have no idea what that's all about. But whatever it is, maybe Ozil will write a book. One day he'll talk about it and we'll find out what happened between these two. Because he was playing every game. He actually went over to help Pepe on the right where Pepe was struggling. And him and Dani Ceballos was working well. I like what was going on with Ozil and Ceballos but it all capitulated. People are going to trash Ozil because it's cool. Yeah, I guess so. Bertram, let's get your scores on the doors for these players, please.
I'm not giving Ozil a grade. I'm going to be like how Ebony is with Xhaka, where she gave Xhaka a 2. I'll give Ozil a -5. He's making 350. He's killing us. Literally killing our wage bill, having players ask for more than they really deserve, killing our finances. He needs to go. So let me start off with Saka. Guendouzi's young, and you know how young people are, hot-headed.
Stop that,
right?
man. Look, you're so...
He's young. Ozil is an old man. He's like almost 30 years old. And he's lazy and does nothing except take up space. So anyway. I'm going to give Ozil a grade, -5. That's my grade for Ozil.
So how are you giving him a -5 and you give...
Because he's taking away from my ability to buy players, he's affecting that. He's taking away from my team.
You gave Guendouzi a mark and you're not giving...
No. Ozil is not part of my... No. All these Ozil fans are crazy. I've said 3 years ago, do not pay this... No, well, let me go off on a tangent here. Nobody wanted him. Let me say this. You overpay for somebody that nobody wanted. It's ridiculous, and it's poor business management. That's why we're in the state we're in, because we have poor leadership for Arsenal. Anyway, let's skip Ozil. He's not worth the time or the effort. Yeah. I can't give anybody a 9 on a team that finished 8th in a league. It makes no sense to me. You weren't that great. You should have pulled your team along with you. Saka, young, he gets an 8. Kid was excellent. Fell off the last 3 games. You know, Arteta didn't play him. They played him on the right, and he wasn't playing well. They played him out of position. That's Arteta's fault. But I gave him an 8. Martinelli, I gave an 8.5. I thought Martinelli was our best player in the preseason by a country mile, frankly. And I thought he was not treated well by Emery or by Longberg when he came in. Obviously, he got injured later on the season. His goal against Chelsea gave you an idea of what kind of player this kid is. Klopp was full of praises for the kid and says he's a worldie. Not sure he didn't play him more. Always go back to your manager who makes these decisions. In Kenya, I gave a 6. Look, I think he's a lot of energy.
Oh, and Nketiah's not down there. Yeah, we're not doing strikers at the moment.
Okay. Okay. I apologize.
These are wide men.
Nelson, I gave a 4. Look, I think Nelson had, his first 7 games in Germany or 10 games where he scored like 7 goals. From then on, he's been okay. And obviously, he's not showing it in practice to make the starting level. So I gave him a 4. Pepe, I gave a 6. I'm not sure why anybody would give Pepe an 8. Pepe cost £70-something million. I know we're paying it over 5 years, so it may seem like that much, but you can't be a £70-something million striker scoring 20 goals in the previous league and come here
and choose the price he gets paid.
But I'm judging him based on the price he gets paid, just like I'm judging Ozil based on 350. You have to.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. You don't play. Okay, let me judge him on just pure performance. He's a 6. He disappears from games. Tony?
Saka's free. He must get like 13.
No. We stopped paying him. We gave him a new contract.
He must be on like $5,000 a week.
No. He's got a new contract. That was old Tony. Come on, stay with the times, Tony.
Only about 3 weeks ago.
But we hadn't seen him perform to pay him. Now he's playing with paid, just like Martinez is going to get paid.
But wait, man was on $5,000 a week, performing at the top end of the Premier League, and you're giving
Pepe is not performing at the top end of the Premier League. Pepe has been okay. Come on, Pepe has been okay. Pepe is a 6 at best.
I'm just saying, don't mark a man down because of his...
William's stats are better than Pepe's.
It's not his
William's stats are better than Pepe's, and he's 32 years old. He didn't cost 70 million. Anyway.
Bertram, what is going on with you right now, man? Bertram. Where is the Bertram that I know and love?
Saka gets an 8. Saka gets an 8. Martin an 8.5. Ozil doesn't get a grade. Ozil does not get a grade. Wow. And I believe in Arteta. I you know what? I respect Arteta. Don't succumb to the pressure from fans or from pundits. Play your best players. That's why Maitland-Niles play. That's why Guendouzi is on the bench. That's why Ozil doesn't play. He plays his best team. And I respect it from Arteta. And he will get a very favorable grade from me because he's a manager of the Pep school, which is I play my best team. Pepe gets a 6, and he's lucky he's get a 6.
Wow. Okay, so guys, I've given Nelson a 5 on the whole. Reece Nelson, he's done what the coach and the managers wanted him to do in a system where he has to learn and prove that he needs playing time, and he's done that. So well done to him. He's proved he's been able to fit into Arteta's plans, and he's contributed, and I think he'll only get better from there. So I've given him a 5 average season from him. I expect more from him next season. A little bit better than what Willock has done, I think, for Nelson. Martinelli, guys, I've given Martinelli a 9, 10 goals, 4 assists, improved physically and met the demands set by Arteta. Didn't really get much love from the people before, which was very disappointing. Saka, I've given Saka a 9 as well. If I give Martinelli a 9, I've got to give Saka a 9. Impressed wherever he was played. Left wing, right wing, left back, wing back, central midfielder, 4 goals, 12 assists. That's a 9. It's a 9. No doubt about it. I gave Ozil a 4. Man of the match against Newcastle, Everton, impact allowing Arsenal to attack more freely when he was supporting Pepe when nobody else was. But just being unavailable for most of the season has really hurt him. Didn't come back in shape after lockdown mentally and never recovered. And I think that's it for him. I don't think we'll ever see him play for Arsenal again. And that's it for me. I've done all of them. Yeah. So
sorry, Apollo. Can I just get Nelson and Pepe again?
Yeah, Nelson was a 5, and Pepe was a 7.
Okay.
Oh, have I done Pepe? Yeah. Sorry. Oh, Pepe. Sorry, I didn't explain Pepe. Pepe was a 7, and this is directed at you, Bertram. Adapting to a new country, 3 different head coaches, no regular support from a right back, and still flashes of brilliance were evident early on, and slowly began to become a more consistent player under Arteta before his most complete performance in the FA Cup final. I'll say that again, Bertram. Adapting to a new country, 3 different managers, and no support from the right back.
Can I have a rebuttal? Can I get a rebuttal?
Yeah, go on, man.
So Pepe is one of the most skillful players in the league. Very skillful players, crosses are pinpoint. But I think did Man U buy someone this season in the second half of the season? Did they buy a new player from the Portuguese league? No. Let Apollo speak. 50-something million pounds or close to 60 is the total bill paid over 5 years. How did Fernandes do? Adapting to a new league, by the way, just came in. Didn't play even all this whole second half. Just came in. How did he do?
That's a That's a non-starter for me because every player adapts differently to the Premiership.
So don't use that excuse of adapting to a new league.
It's not an excuse.
Use that criteria.
That sentence right there is a fact. Every player adapts differently to the Premier League.
Exactly. That's why he gets a 6 because he's adapting.
Hold on a second, Bertram. He got 8 goals and 9 assists. How many? What
for the PL or for the entire season? Is that a PL?
I believe that's the entire season.
Oh, okay. Not the PL, not just the PL. What's his PL stats?
I don't know and I don't care. I judge.
Those are the fringe league. Those not with lesser players.
Listen,
I'm talking about the PL stats. Stats.
Some of the players try to play this. I'm not mentioning any names on 101 to try and justify and dog a player's performance. You judge a player on how many goals. Aubameyang has scored 29 goals this season. Some people might want to say he scored 22 in the Premiership. That's great. But he scored 7 more goals in other competitions, which was just
he was the second leading scorer in the PL.
Oh, Jesus!
He's the second leading scorer. He is the second leading scorer. Forget about 29 goals. We're talking about Pepe. First game in Liverpool. Pepe came plays the first game in Liverpool. He looked wonderful, missed easy chances. But I can't give you a better grade than a 6. As you told me before, that's my grade.
No, that's fine. Look, whatever it is, it's fine. I'm telling you. You judge a player on how many goals he scores in a season, not in just the FA Cup, or not in just the league, or not in just the Europa.
Okay. So he scored 8 goals. Still a decent return for a winger. It was a decent return, but I'm telling you, Pepe was a disappointment for me. Even though I think the kid I like Pepe. Don't get me wrong. Buns the skill, need to go to the gym and get stronger. But he loses the ball like Sanchez a lot of times when he shouldn't. With his skill, he should not be turning the ball over as much as he does. And he doesn't play defense. In fact, he doesn't know how to play defense.
Well, listen, and I've said that, and I agree with that. But you just heard me say he's had.
How you gonna give him a 7 if he can't play defense? When you say we gotta play both ways.
Okay, I'm gonna read the first line again. 3 different head coaches, no regular support from a right back. I know
yes,
you're
and he
hearing.
also got benched during the season quite a bit sometimes.
Well, twice.
He didn't play all the game. Yes.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't performing.
Once from Freddie because he weren't playing on defense, and once from Arteta because he weren't playing on defense.
Yeah, exactly.
And when we were talking about naming the team, who was the only one that said Reece Nelson should start? All of you lot agreed to start Pepe, and I said to you in the run up to big games, Nelson should play, and I said he should play.
Nelson doesn't have it. Look, we want a differentiator. We want a differentiator, right? Somebody who has something which is magical. Pepe has that. He just has to run at his game.
Okay, like the guys are waiting patiently in the chat, so let's move on to Ebony. Ebony, throw out your numbers for Nelson, Pepe, Martinelli, Saka, and Ozil.
Okay, let me start backwards. The one that Bertram likes to call lazy. He has had some good moments. Okay, to give him his fair due. You know, Ozil is not somebody who fights for the ball. He's one of these players that needs a team built around him. Otherwise, he doesn't really perform. But there have been, you know, a few periods of like great touches and passes. I'm going to give him a 6, and that's purely because he just doesn't. I'm going to give him a 6, and that's purely because I'm marking him down purely because he just doesn't perform in the way that a number 10 should do. Doesn't really create any chances. Well, doesn't create that many chances. I'm going to give him a 6. Saka, I've been impressed with him. He's only 18 years old. He's played where he's told to play, and he's excelled in every position: left back, right back, this side, right side. I'm going to give him an 8. Martinelli, I'd like to give him more than I want to, but he's been injured, so I'm going to give him a 7. Pepe, I like Pepe, and I think I've been one of the few people that's actually stuck up for him, in the sense that he's come from France, he's come from a different league, he's in a new league, he's got to get used to the pace, the physicality. The only thing that that's annoyed me about his game is that he likes to step over too much, and he likes to do the Ronaldo movements, which don't always work. And there have been times when he hasn't been supported, but he's done the best that he can, so I'm going to give him a 7. Nelson, it's just a standard 5. I need to see more from him. I hope he doesn't go out on loan.
Sorry,
can I just say something before Tony starts? Let me just say something, a point here. Saint Maximum and Martinelli, new to a new league. I said this again. Saint Maximum from Newcastle and Martinelli and Fernandez are all new to the PL. We're not hearing the same excuse be made for them when we grade them. Saint Maximum, everybody wants nowadays, came from the French league. Martinelli is a kid, came from all from Brazil, playing second division ball. No excuse about new league. Not a criteria for judging the player.
So, guys, so before I go to Tony, I want to do another screen share again, because we're going to look at the guys who gave Ozil a 0. We know Nicolas Pepe led the team in dribbles. We have talked about that before. Joe Willock, you can see there 2.6. Reece Nelson 2.3. So that's for the full season. Maitland-Niles was second in the first half of the season. But guys, look at this. Chances created. Mesut Ozil, 2.3 chances created per game. And it says here, Ozil has been criticised for his performances this season, but the German has still created more chances than any other Arsenal player in the Premier League this season, with 2.3 over 90.
That's why I'm giving him a 6.
Isn't that?
Yeah, let me just say this. Let me say, guys, we played 38 games in the PL. wait, 30 games in the PL.
Astonishing.
How many times is his big toe hurts, his stomach hurts, his finger hurts, so he can't travel? No, I'm not going to be serious. How many times his back hurts? My wife is not feeling well. The Turkish president has called me. I can't come, guys. I got to go to Turkey. Tony judged a player, Guendouzi, based on the totality of the player for the season to the team. Really? And we want to give him a 6? Or he should get a 0? Always hurt. Always back doesn't hurt. I don't want to go to Newcastle. I don't want to go to Stoke. I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, but taking into consideration that he's created those chances, I know they're not very many, but you know, he's created the most chances in a team that's been largely poor.
He's playing number 10. How many goals did he score this season? How many goals has he scored? He's playing the 10.
Okay,
Some creating chances. How many goals has he scored?
Tony, let's move this on, please. I've made my point.
I agree with you. Bertram. Ozil, he has come to the end of his career. He's literally just walked this season. A couple of games he's shown a couple of glimpses. In a passing team. Let's not forget this is the Arsenal. Yeah, we have to remember this. The Arsenal. We play a style of football, and that style of football is conducive to creative players. Hence why people like Bergkamp, Perez, Ljungberg are highly ranked amongst the overall ranks of players that have played for the team, because we play a style that is conducive to that type of creative type player. Ozil's had his time. I enjoyed him. At his best, still one of the best creative players. I'm a Real Madrid fan, so I've supported him since then. World Cup winner, and all the bells and whistles that come with that. But he walked this season, and effectively, he didn't quit like Guendouzi did. But something was clearly going on, and it affected his ability to actually be present in any squad. And when you look at players coming in, and you look at likes of Matt Smith, who's in the final squad, in the final game, Matt Smith above Ozil. Sorry about that guy. Clearly is doing something wrong, or is incapable of doing it any longer. And I tend to believe he's still got something in him, because he's not the oldest man in the world. He's still got a year on his contract. He should be able to do something for the team rather than nothing, And for that, what did I give Guendouzi? 4.5. Bearing in mind, Guendouzi gets a 4.5. I have to give Ozil nothing more than a 3. Yeah, he wasn't as bad a player when he played as some of the other players who scored 2 for Kolasinac, 3 for Socrates, 4 for Mustafi. He wasn't as bad as those guys. However, those guys trained hard and made themselves available to be players on the pitch. When you don't make yourself available, you're dead. You're dead meat. You're dead wood in that entire squad. When a player like Matt Smith comes from the under-21s and he's getting in the cup final squad above a World Cup winner, sorry, that World Cup winner is finished. He's dead wood. So yeah,
dead food. Dead food.
To be honest, is generous. Reece Nelson, I'm going to give a 4. Loads of improvement to be shown. I would, if he's gonna stay, he needs a loan. He needs a loan out again. Saka an 8. Martinelli 8.5. Can I really go as high as 8.5?
No, Martinelli over Saka.
Yeah, Martinelli for me was the one, man.
Yeah, he was
on his game.
I gave him an 8.5, so you can go 8.5.
8.5.
And it's a shame. I want to shout out my boy, La African Guna, because I know he would have given him a 9 today. So listen, I know you're watching, bro, and I'm talking for you, man, because I know you love that player so much. La African Guna would have given him a 9.
Okay.
And he's one of our most complete player, by the way. One of our most complete players.
Not one of the. He is the most complete. Yeah.
Okay. So that leaves me to Pepe, last but not least. As you know, I'm a great fan of Pepe. Did he have, yes, thank you, Ebony, Presence Blood. Did he have a stellar year? He had a decent season. I could see the glimpses of what's to come. And I believe under the tutelage of Arteta, he will become even better. He's learning the league, as Apollo, you've alluded to. I'm going to give him 7.5.
Excellent. So, guys, we are on our last. We've literally done all the players now. I knew this was going to take long. I actually thought it was going to be longer than this, because we really didn't discuss much transfer stuff. But we're on the last leg, guys. We've got 3 and final players to do, and it's the strikers: Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Nketiah. Guys, throw up your numbers for our strikers, and let's see what you're made of. We're gonna go with Bertram first. Bertram,
Can I go last this time?
Oh, okay. Ebony, do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
You should. Ash, do you want me to go first, and then you can go after? Or you can go now.
I'll go first.
Okay, go on. Okay, go for it.
Aubameyang. Obama blood clot Yang.
Boom, my brother.
Everyone's brother. I'm gonna give Aubameyang a 10. What people need to remember. No, come on. If it wasn't for him, we'd be like 12.
You're right.
If it wasn't for his goals, he has missed chances.
I know, but it's not even from 8. But I'm just keep going.
Hold on, Tony. Sorry, Tony. Are you laughing because she gave Aubameyang a 10?
Yes.
Right. Okay. If you got a pen and paper,
I have right here.
Right. So written down. Right. So I want you to write down how many people in the panel are going to give him a 10, and then we'll come back to it. Yeah.
Okay. I can be a 10 as well.
Okay. Good.
Right. If it wasn't for him, we'd be 12. We'd even be lower. Yes, he has missed chances, but the one thing that I would have to say about his game is that he needs to. He doesn't defend very well. I know he's not the best. He's not the best passer, but the fact that he's actually scored those goals in order for us to even get 8. And he scored the 2 goals, the penalty and the winning goal in the FA Cup. That alone deserves a 10 for me. Okay? But he needs to add a bit more to his game. And for next season, I want to see him play more centrally, because I think he plays better there than if he's on the wing. Okay?
Old dog new tricks.
That's a good shot.
Old dog new tricks.
That's a good shot.
I know, but he's a better central player than a winger. Lacazette, I'm going to give a 6. He's missed many chances. I don't think he's had a great season, if I'm honest. I think maybe he's just having an off season. I don't know. I don't know if he's tired. He's not been able to last a full match. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. But he has missed a few chances, and for me, he hasn't been quite at the races. So I'm going to give him a 6. And Nketiah, who's been slightly better than him, in my opinion, this season, I'm going to give him a 7. Yes, he has missed chances, but he's still developing. He's young. He's got time on his hands. But taking into consideration that he came in when Lacazette was injured or whatever, he's come in, he's created a few chances, he deserves a 7.
I'm looking at the scores. Actually, I'm going to go through them. But the most consistent thing is I'm going to call out Vincey. Vincey, how are you going to say Uber had the perfect season and then give him an 8?
He hasn't had a perfect season, to be fair. But
he hasn't. That's what he's saying. He's got a big question mark saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
He hasn't had the perfect season.
Yeah.
He hasn't had the perfect season, but. No, he hasn't. But the fact of the matter is, his goals alone, has gotten us in a position where we shouldn't be eighth.
If we didn't have him, we'd be fighting relegation, and we wouldn't have been anywhere near lifting a trophy. So, yeah, but at the same time, you have to remember he scored 29 goals this season. Adebayor got 31, Sanchez got 31, Van Persie got 37, Henry regularly in the mid-30s. So comparing him, if we talk about a 10, we've got to look at that in comparison to great Arsenal strikers. Was it really a 10? I think it could be, depending on the way how you look at it. It's subjective. I gave him a 9. Under Emery, his goals kept us afloat. Otherwise, guys, make no bones about this, we would be fighting relegation. There's no doubt about it. His defensive contributions improved under Arteta while maintaining his goal-scoring prowess, and I just think he's amazing. I challenged him. He stepped up to the plate. I gave him a 9. I'm gonna have to give him a 9.5 because I gave Martinelli and Saka a 9. And I think that Aubameyang's our player of the season. So in order for me to facilitate that, I've got to make his score higher than theirs. So I'm actually giving Aubameyang a 9.5. The one thing that has struck me, though, looking at the scores from the guys in the chat, is almost everybody has given Nketiah a higher score than Lacazette. So it's really good to see that. Nketiah, I gave a 7 as well. Got his chance at Leeds. Did the same thing when he returned to Arsenal. Took Lacazette's starting spot, performed really well, scoring goals, also developing his game to become more defensively rounded. I really love what I see from the new Andy Cole, Dwight York, and I think this guy, if we start him at the point next season, I think he's going to do something that Lacazette hasn't been able to do, and that scored 20 goals. Lacazette, I gave Lacazette a 6. He lacked the explosiveness of which made him so effective in his first few seasons at the club. Lengthy goal droughts did not help, but he responded exactly the way he needed to after losing his position to Nketiah. He started battling for possession, harassing defenders, and it's something that he doesn't like to do. When Nketiah got the red card and he had a 3-match ban, we noticed how bad Lacazette's fitness level was after 70 minutes, just completely and utterly gassed. It isn't his game. It just isn't his game. But I gave him a 6, and I really don't know what's going to happen, where he's going to go outside of that. Bertram, you got the conch.
So I'm going to go from right to left. I gave Nketiah a 6.5. I thought for someone who couldn't get into the lead starting lineup over Bamford, yet when he came to us, I think his athleticism is his biggest attribute, at least so far, where his speed, his pressing, his never say die attitude was really differentiating him from Lacazette. You could really see the difference when they're both on the field, how Lacazette struggled. Lacazette is an improved Giroud athletically, frankly. But I gave him a 6.5. I thought he did well enough, but I need to see more from him. I gave Laka a 5. I think Laka is a brilliant hold-up player, not just good, a brilliant hold-up player. If you're playing this number 9 position, you're judged by how much time you put the ball in the net. That's what you're judged by. And that's what differentiates you. And I don't think he scored enough in the season. And you're right, he struggles with the whole pressing. He doesn't have the athleticism to close down as quickly as Nketiah does, or Aubameyang does, or Pepe does, even though Pepe doesn't do enough of it. And so it's been a tough season for him. I would like to keep him, but if we have to sell him to get resources to buy other players, I think we should sell him. I gave Abba a 9. Now, I've said this, judge a player on the entire season. Abba cannot get a 10. He disappeared against Liverpool the first game. He disappeared against City in the first game. There was games where, as you said, you and Tony went to the game and wondering he probably should get a 3 in those games.
Yeah.
So you judge on the whole season. You cannot get a 10 when there are games which you were disappeared. Now, having said that, he scored 22 of our 48 goals, or 56 goals, I should say. That's a lot of goals for you to score in a season in a team which doesn't have creative midfielders to set you up to score. Now, I know O's are that good stats about chances created, but he wasn't getting a ton of service to then score more goals. And again, that's how we judge you. I do think Abba doesn't know how to pass. He's not a great hold-up player. Press when he feels like it. So there's a lot of deficiencies in his game. but the man put the ball in the net. And you can't win games by not scoring. So I gave him a 9 because his attributes and his good attributes outweigh his deficiencies.
Question for you: do you think his defensive work, which vastly improved towards the end of the season, do you think that had a lot to do with him? Because he's never been a captain at a club before, and it almost seems like he was a captain by default after what happened with the Xhaka issue. And it almost seemed like towards the end of the season with the FA Cup run and all the other games that he started to come into his own. He started to take more of a captain's responsibility. Would you say that was the case?
Look, I think when you're thrust in a leadership position, but not your leader, you feel like you have to be an example, and people are looking to be an example. I'm sure Arteta has imparted to him continuously the need for him to set the example, to demonstrate out there that he's committed, and to show it through his work ethic. And I'm sure that resonated with him. Sometimes he laps back into the old Aubameyang. Because think about it. He was a center forward at Dortmund. He probably didn't run back at all. They didn't press as much. So there's no, just like Pepe, there was no need for you to, that was ingrained in you. And it's very difficult when you come to PL to realize, as you said, I contradict myself, it's a new league. It's a different league. The physicality and the style of play is different. I could switch it off and on.
Press. Dortmund are a pressing team.
I don't see Dortmund press like is it in PL.
No, they're a.
No, I watched them. I don't think they press as well. We press. Yeah, think about Aubameyang, which is interesting. Yeah, it's not the same kind of pressing, though.
Yeah, but Dortmund are a high press team.
But I'm just saying, think about Bayern. Bayern press, but the press is a little bit different, right? They don't press like our Man City press or Liverpool used to press. Liverpool doesn't press that more, same anymore. They press a different kind of press. Abba actually is unbelievably quick. And he has surprised a couple of goalkeepers with how quickly he covers the ground. That's how he scored a couple of goals when people are trying to play from the back, because his quickness is not overly, I wouldn't say he's fast, but he's really quick in the first 10 meters. Yeah. And when you have that level of quickness and fitness that he does, you should be doing more to help your team. Now, what you don't want to do is take away from somebody's offensive game when you have to press too much. And Klopp, who I think is a brilliant manager, realized this after Liverpool's first season, that it wasn't sustainable. So, press in spurts versus press for the whole game. And I think people are learning that. So, look, I do think that Abba, I don't think he's a leader naturally. But I think when you're the best player in a team, you generate a lot of, it allows you to have that cachet to say, you know what, guys, follow me, even though it may not be your normal inclination to be a leader. And you're right, Apollo, in terms of, I think what he has done is realize the position he's in, the example he needs to set, the coaching he's getting, and what you're told he saw when you probably watch him play. You may see the game when he lapses, but it won't be something that's continuous.
Yeah, agreed. So Carletto is saying, Apollo, should we sell Nketiah? Definitely not, mate. Definitely not.
No.
As I look, if I'm wrong, if Nketiah starts next season and gets us 20 goals, if he doesn't get us 20 goals, I'll put my hands up and I'll say, okay, I got it wrong. But I think that he can. I really do think that. Look, Lacazette has been here for this time, and he has failed to do what Giroud did. And Giroud was chastised for scoring 20 goals. Everybody said to Giroud, it wasn't enough. Henry said, you need to be a 30-goal, and to an extent, Henry's right. You need to be a 30-goal season striker in order to lift a team to where they want to be in the top 4. Giroud wasn't that, and we failed with Giroud. So,
Apollo, I just say one thing. Can I say one thing about that? Is I think sometimes it's very difficult to compare players on certain teams, because when we had Giroud, we had very creative, skillful midfielders, right? People like Wilshere and Fabregas, all those players create goal out of nothing. They walk the ball into the net. Our midfield now, it's hard to judge our forwards because our midfield are just not creative. Even Ceballos, who wants the ball, doesn't make enough cutting-edge through passes to create one-on-one situations or through-and-goal situations. Walker used to get that quite a bit. That's why Theo scored a lot of goals, because we have midfielders who get on the ball. We don't have that today.
And that's what we need in Pepe. Look, and I talk about 2017 all the time. Sanchez, 31 goals. Yeah? Aubameyang can do that for you. Walcott, 19 goals. Pepe can do that for you. Or William could do that for you. Giroud had 16 goals that season, and Ozil had 12. So Giroud, who was our main striker, he was the third highest top scorer in the season. Your main striker was third top scorer. Walcott got more goals than him, and Sanchez. And both of them were playing on the wing. Sanchez floated on the left. Walcott was on the right. They outscored the striker. So
yeah, I'll say one thing about Abba. I think Abba is a phenomenal goal scorer. So I was watching his goals. All his goals differ. There is no two goals the same. Whether it's from Tottenham, where he's kicking from outside the box, where it's a heel to score against City, whether it's an overhead kick. I mean, his goals are a variety of different goals, even a couple of headers in there. And I think when we talk about adapting to the league, he's another player who came in last year. He adapted right away. He was scoring goals. He's just a goal scorer.
So, guys, you've waited long enough in the chat, so let's have a look at your scores. 18, Lacazette 6, Nketiah 7, Aubameyang 10. Lee, Uber 9, Laka 5, Eddie 6. Again, we're seeing Nketiah getting outscoring Lacazette every single time. Aubameyang 8 from Vinci, Laka 5, Nketiah 6. Lacazette 5 from Sinfo, Aubameyang 11. Tony, are you writing this down? Aubameyang 11, Nketiah 7. Again, Nketiah has not lost to Lacazette in this grade. Aubameyang 10, Eddie 7, Lacazette 6. Stephen has gone Aubameyang 9, Lacazette 8, and Nketiah 7 with a question mark. So he's the first person that's chose Lacazette over Nketiah, but there's a question mark there. Leah saying Europa, any other scores on the doors? Let me just check. No, Carlito. Carlito's gone Eddie 7, Laka 6.5, Aubameyang 9.5. So only one of our guys chose Lacazette over Eddie Nketiah. Tony, you got the conch.
Okay, so I have collated all the scores together on my master document here, and it makes interesting reading. So here's what I'm going to surprise you guys with first and foremost. Just based on what you three so far have voted, the three of us in the three of us you in the room. So far, Ebony, you have had 17 players with marks of 6 or above.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo, you have 15 players with marks of 6 or above. Bertram, you have 14 players with marks 6 or above. And I currently have, without the 3 players left, only 10 players with marks of 6 or above.
Wow.
So, without further ado, Nketiah is getting a 7. Lacazette is getting a 7. Aubameyang. Okay, before I go to Aubameyang, I'm just going to explain. Lacazette and Nketiah. Yes, definitely Nketiah is far more physical in terms of speed and a defensive player. But Lacazette is a man, which is why ultimately I believe he played in the most important game in the season, or the 2 most important games of the season. Because I believe Arteta looks at him and goes, he will be the man at the top of the pitch. As opposed to Nketiah, who is growing into his man body, but hasn't quite got there, but will definitely become a man. I gave them an equal mark because I do believe that they equally contributed, even though Lacazette was there all season. Lacazette would normally be marked down for that, but towards the tail end of the season, as Bertram alluded to, he did a man's job. He was that target man that we know Eddie Nketiah hasn't got that in his game yet.
Well, let's remember 2 things. First thing is Nketiah had a tremendous scoring record at Leeds, at second highest goal scorer. Yeah. And not just that, but Lacazette's first 6 months of the season were awful. Yeah, he had the ankle injury, and then he had that 9-game goal drought, and then obviously we know he hadn't scored away from home for a year and a half since last February. So it was awful. It was almost like you played an away game and you knew Lacazette weren't going to score. He was really struggling. What happened? He got benched. he came off the bench and scored 4 goals. Was it 4 and 3? So he started doing really well, and then didn't get back into the team until Nketiah. So I wouldn't say for a full season. That's the reason why we're seeing people giving him 5s and 6s, because he was bang awful in the first part of the season. But a strong finish from him, no doubt. But Nketiah has been good pretty much for most of the season. He's been delivering.
However, he did have a couple of games where he was non-existent.
Really?
So I'm not going to overblow him. I'm not going to say he's a bad player. I do like Nketiah. I do believe he can become something that a lot of young players at Arsenal have failed to do. Likes of, Nicholas Bentner and, oh man, what's his name? So many strikers have come through the academy.
Shamak.
And have failed to, live up to the name.
Shamak.
No. I'm talking about Highland kids that have come through.
Oh, right.
But yeah, who was the last striker to come out of Highland?
Oh my God.
Bentner. It was Bentner.
Yeah.
Bentner.
And he failed to live up to any. Bentner was astounding as a rookie.
As a youth,
in the under 21s. He was phenomenal. Him and Arturo Lupoli were setting teams on fire. Yeah. But he's the last one that you can go, actually came into the first team and scored anything, reasonable and had any reasonable output.
Yeah, we all know Arsene Wenger, the ones that got away. Yaya Toure, Ronaldo. Man, could
Messi.
you imagine? But look at the same time, Vieira, Perez, Henry, so look, it balances out, doesn't it?
So,
hey, what's going on, bro? Francis. Yeah, that's the name. Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah. So there's loads of those at POM. There's loads of them before, So I that leaves me with Aubameyang and my man of the year, which I'm just going to put a little bit of gloss on it, because I've got 2 players on 8.5, which is Kieran Tierney and Gabby Martinez, sorry. And then I've got 1 player on 9, who is Emi Martinez.
Oh, what did you give Saka?
Saka got an 8.
Okay.
Martinelli got an 8.5, like Bertram. So 2 players on 8.5, 1 on 9. And then we got Alba. Definitely didn't have the perfect year, but as everybody has said, without him, we would be fighting relegation. And he is a phenomenal finisher. Love the overhead kick. The scissor kick in the Europa. Scored some phenomenal goals. And we know he can do it from outside the box as well. Great free kick this year. So he's an all-round player, Come on, Tony. So the suspense is killing. I'm going to give Alba my player of the season 9.5.
9.5, same as me. Yeah. That is solid, and I think it's fair to give him that because of what he's achieved. If we had finished 8th, I think that the scores today probably would have been quite different. But because we've achieved what we've achieved, I think we finished really well.
The other thing that goes in his favour, as I think Bertram said, is the captaincy. Because although he doesn't always look like a captain, he took it on. And that has to be given some kudos. Well done on stepping in and becoming the captain, because it's not an easy job.
Excellent.
It's not an easy job.
Excellent. So, guys, that's it for today. We've achieved everything that we've wanted to do. That was the last player ratings for this season, to put it as a close. So now we can start having a little bit of fun next week. Next week will be more about talking about transfers, and because at that point we'll be right in the thick of it. We'll have a little bit of fun as well. We'll do a session where we get to know a little bit about each other some more. So that will be a bit of fun. And we'll also look at some other stuff as well. We'll make things interesting for you guys as we go along. But really, transfers are the things that are taking up most of the news now. So it's good that we've been able to put everything to bed. Thank you, everybody in the chat room that has participated in this, and it is great to see all of your scores. And you know what? Some crazy, some nominal, and some amazing scores from you guys. And we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be talking a lot of transfers there with Dan, Neomis, African Guna might be back as well. And that's it from us, guys. Any closing arguments from you guys?
I just want to say it's been a roller coaster of a year. You know, I think it's been great, the banter that's been had between us all. You know, as each week has gone by, I've grown to appreciate you guys even more, because you know, we haven't been able to actually go to matches and see each other. And obviously, you know, Bertram, you're away in New York, and the African Guna in South Africa. But it's been an amazing journey this season for us to finish the way we have, and to have this great club again give us the ability to be proud, to be red. I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative of you guys. I'm appreciative of all the guys who come on weekly. I kind of feel like I know all of you on a first name basis now.
Well, so. Tony, I went to school with you, so
yeah.
I've known. Oh my God! So let me see now. So I've known Tony for about
41 years.
Yeah, 41 years. Oh my God! Yeah. And we played sports together as well, man. Athletics, rugby, football, everything. Oh my God! So listen, Bertrand, where can we find you?
Arsenal 101.
Excellent.
And I actually say that I agree with Tony. Look, I think when we were close to like 2/3 of the season, I was very concerned about the future. Forget about, because I didn't see any way in terms of us even winning the cup, plus looking for, after seeing Chelsea buying a couple of really good players. Look where City is reinvesting. City is reinvesting. Liverpool is phenomenal. And then I hear about Coutinho, and I hear about William, and I hear about Gabriel. I hear about, and we know Saliba is coming. If you look at the team on paper that we're proposing to have, then you get a bit encouraged to say, you know what, we may not be able to compete with Liverpool or City, but we can compete with Chelsea or Man U. There's nobody going to spend money also. So you feel like you have some thought about top four before you look at our team and how awful our defense was in the early part of the year, and you're saying we won't have a chance, and you know what, going forward. But you see Arteta's influence on the team. You look at Aubameyang's goal, and if he signs the contract, which is important, you see Saka signing. There's so many things that have happened over the last 3 or 4 months since we reopened to say we're encouraged about the future going forward. And on a more personal note, as Tony said, I had some concerns about doing these type of programs because I've seen other forums and the language used, and I'm always concerned about, you know, how you get exposed to a certain environment and the perception associated with it, no matter how well you're doing, whether financially or otherwise. It's always concerning about the association and the implication of those associations, especially given what I do. So it has been fun. I enjoy it, and looking forward to more of it.
Excellent. So Tony's had to run. Ebony, closing arguments from you, and where can we find you?
All right, well, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, 101. I do my radio shows, which I will be talking about next on Wednesday. So you know that thing that you want to get to know a bit more about us. My closing argument, considering the season that we've had a topsy-turvy season. It's not been great. Yes, we did start off well, but then it began to, just before the lockdown, it began to tail off, and then it got slightly worse after we came back from lockdown. And one of the things that I've always said is that, you know, keep the faith. I said keep the faith against Man City, when everybody thought we'd lose. I said keep the faith against Liverpool, when everybody thought we'd lose. We won those 2 games. And I said keep the faith. I don't tell everybody that we were going to win the FA Cup. I put myself on the line. I said to everybody we're going to win the FA Cup, and we did. So it's not bad for 8th, but what I want to see next season is some midfield players that can actually create chances.
Yes,
I want to see Lacazette still there. I know you put a banner up saying, you know, he's to be sold for 30 million, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with the fact that we're potentially letting go of Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I'm glad we've got Willian. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the FA Cup should be the impetus for us to use to go forward. So that's what I want. I want us to go forward, you know, always forward. Yeah, so, you know, and we have the potential to do it. But, you know, me and, you know, Arsenal.com, I don't believe anything until I see it on there. Sky Sports can't even convince me until I see it on Arsenal.
Soon comes.
But yeah, I mean, but you know, we've had a good, bad, and indifferent season. All off, we won the FA Cup. We've won some silverware, and we just need to push on forward and look forward to next season and look forward to Arteta sprinkling his influence on some players, and hopefully the players that have let him down this season are gone.
True. We've got a late score here. We've got Ashik with Uber 9, Laka 6, and Niketia 7. So thanks for that, bro. I'm never gonna leave you guys out because you guys are the fuel that lights this fire. That's it from us, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button for this video because it will make every Arsenal fan be able to find this as a recommended video. Tony said, sorry, my iPad died. No problem, Tony. Everyone's shouting you out, Tony. So thank you for your contributions this year. Thank you, Bertram and Ebony, for your contributions as well to the channel this year. Let's hope next year is going to be a big channel as we are on our way to 3,000 subscribers. Guys, that's it from us. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, man.
Bye.
Excellent.